Kaboom! Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Live from Kingston, Jamaica, broadcasting around the world. You're watching the Teach Them YouTube show. Intellectual,
yet stimulating.
fair, frank, and factual. This is Extra Class, streaming to the world and beyond.
You know, it's Teach Them, the #1 intellectual blogging panel on the YouTube channel.
Good night, everyone. Let me know if you're seeing me clearly. Let me know if you're hearing me clearly. If you're seeing and hearing me clearly, welcome to another episode of Extra Class, episode number 270. I trust that everyone is okay on this Sunday evening. For the persons who are at work, I trust that your shift will end soon and you will get a chance to get home to be with your family. For the people on the road, be careful. You understand? Get home safely. For the people who are there home, ready for listen to teach about some things you have to jam down. Jamrock, Jamaica land we love. Land of food and water, Bob Marley, Usain Bolt, Vice Cartel, Butch Banton, Shelly and Fraser Price, Lane Thompson, Posa similar. Marcus Messiah Garvey, Tommy Lee, Plank, Hitler and some more, man. Peeps, we're there. We give thanks. Soon forward.
Kaboom! Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them. You know, it's Teach Them, the #1 intellectual blogging panel on the YouTube channel. Hey, yo, yellow. Like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification button. Hey, yo, we always up to something. Teach them. Hey, yo, yellow. Send the message and make it reach them. It's Teach Them right here. Warlord representing.
Yeah, peace. Before I go any further, first and foremost, I big up the Arsenal fans them. Congratulations. Not long talking. Arsenal take them opportunities them. You understand? They emerge victorious. And well done to the Arsenal man. Them say that wear my Chelsea jersey. Then, you know what I mean? It don't really matter. Win, lose, or draw. I could see how the next season go. Peeps, give thanks. Big up to the Gunners them. The Gooners them. The Loners them. You understand? The baby boomers them. Peeps. Enough things to talk about. I could get into the thing. You understand? Marby Wagwan. All of the people in the building, big up on yourself. Peeps, please share the stream for me now. I'm going to try to do that when I tell you to do because my name do it you know. You understand? I never did do it yet. See it? Talk to you later. Big up to the people that may dislike the stream. When I not dislike the stream, I tell me when I dislike it for. Because I do it if I do. You understand what I say? I do it if I do Rasta. You see, I'm going to share that shit before, people. Just give me a little bit there. You understand? When I get to know juice and popcorn and Sunday dinner and all sort of things together and, you know what I mean, we soon kick it off like a ball. Okay, you know, the thing can't start. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. WhatsApp, status, group.
Now you can get even more news from your preferred
Alexa,
source.
tap in nice. I don't know. I don't ask you a thing. I talk all my ears. You understand? You know that type of girl have to be seen and heard. Yes, Asta. Alright, peace. Make way. Yo, the dislike squad is out. Yo, we say them are dislike because I'm shirt. Then my shirt is my shirt. I ain't not trouble nobody with them shirt. I just wear I shirt. You understand what I say? Alright, peace. We could get us up here up and start now, cause you know what thing go night to come. Yeah, man, big up to the people that want to share stream already. Oh, them somebody sharing our group already. I will even know. You understand what I say? I do even know Rasta. What me I look for, yes, sir? Cancel that. See? Close this, yes, sir. Remove from that. What me I look for? 270. Yeah. Yeah, peeps. Yeah, the JA. So what you mean, so my brave brother? Chelsea on my side. Then me not in that for hide. Yeah, sir. Shop there, see you. Alright, peeps. Oh crap. Me never fix a picture there and now I realize. Yo, a million things to do sometime and I don't even remember. But one picture I go around, you see? Where I'm saying I can't find it first before me say. Oh, see the brother, yeah? Hopefully full up his screen. I'm start out myself. See? Yeah. Boom. This brother here is a composite sketch really. And he is believed to be one of the suspects involved in a bank robbery recently. So, Westmoreland police seeking suspect in bank robbery. So, the police in Westmoreland have generated a photo of a man who is suspected to be a part of the JN Bank money shop robbery in White House. He is being asked to turn himself into the Savannah Lamar police station immediately. Additionally, the police are asking anyone with information that can assist in identifying or locating the suspect to contact the Savannah Lamar Criminal Investigations Branch at 876-965-2232, the police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. I'm going to place that information in this for the people who want that. So reports by the White House police are that shortly after 11:30 a.m. last Tuesday, 3 men wearing masks walk into the bank posing as customers. So after spending several minutes inside the bank, the men brandished handguns and held up all 4 employees, customers and security guard at gunpoint. They then relieved the security guard of his pistol and beat him. The robbers then stole over $3 million in cash as well as the guard's pistol. They then held up a taxi operator at gunpoint and commandeered the vehicle. A whole heap of something going on the head of the Rasta. You understand me? I said, yo, the man them first going to the bank. Seeing, hold up the employees, 4 of them plus the security guard, relieved him of his pistol, beat him, you understand, rob $3.2 million, then go outside, hold up a taxi, take with the car, take with himself. Alright, sir. As I said, information abound is that one of the men would have been held by security personnel after the incident at DR2, I'm not sure. But what you're seeing on screen earlier, as I said, is a composite sketch created by sketch artists inside the Jamaica Constabulary Force of the suspect, one of the suspects in the robbery. So if you know him, if you know nobody looks so, and you feel like you want to do the right thing, then you understand what I say? Yeah, man, do what you do. So peeps, that. We have some heavy topics to deal with tonight, you know. And we get that one out of the way from early. Normally we leave them topics for later down, but I'm gonna try to get rid of that one early. Yeah, man, a good sketch that slight mentality, for real. See, me tell them, say, JCF is not as bad as many people think, you know. You understand? They're not as good as they should be in some instances. Yeah, man, Matthew, you don't know, man, a royal blue thing there, you know. See? And thing. So, you know, peeps, and again, for the people who want the information to contact the police if they know the fellow in the sketch, then see the info they down there, so. There has been a lot of disquiet, a lot of discourse, a lot of disagreement, a lot of disappointment being expressed on social media, in conventional media, with the Supreme Court's ruling that a child wearing dreadlocks who was essentially barred from attending the Kensington Primary School in Portmore, St. Catherine, and they had taken the case to court, and the court now ruled that the child's constitutional rights were not breached. Many persons, especially considering the fact that Emancipation Day was the other day, and we say we are move on as a people, and some people are saying we're still about to the Queen, and Rastafarianism is a big religion that originated in Jamaica and the works. You understand? A lot of the discourse has been emotive. You understand? A lot of persons have been emotional about it. I have not addressed the matter in no way, shape, or form in a public forum before now. Then I will try my best to analyze the situation, to give you my views and opinions on the matter, and where do we go from here. I suppose one of the stumbling block here is not even the courts per se, is the Education Act of 1965 and the Education Regulation of 1980, those documents are predated, old, they need to be adjusted, modified, updated to align themselves with new trends and new happenings in the world and also in the education system. And as I said, I know many persons are very emotional about the thing. Many persons are you know what I mean, steep in their emotions and feelings about the thing. With these things, no matter which stance you take, persons will be offended. You understand? No matter what are your views and opinion on the matter, people will be offended. Saying my aim is not to offend anybody, but if in my discourse somebody becomes upset, then so be it. You understand what I say? I am not certain that everything that has been said around the situation is correct and is fair, Zane, and I'll explain why I say that. And I am also speaking from the perspective of not only a YouTuber here, but also a high school teacher, Zane, and somebody who has been in the system for over a decade now. Yeah? Lawful, big up yourself and brother. You know, I appreciate the support and the contribution every time. Yeah. So let me give you this first before me say. It say, here we go again. Jamaicans question ruling on 7-year-old Dreadlocks student in Marleyland. You understand? Alright, we soon come. Really? That was a reaction from the 7-year-old Kensington Primary School student after learning that her constitutional rights were not breached when the school refused her access because of her dreadlocks 2 years ago. The ruling was handed down in the Supreme Court on Friday, and while the written judgment has not been given, the declaration made by the judges have elicited widespread reaction, condemnation. You understand? State Minister in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, Alonda Tertiary, took to Twitter to vent, along with scores of other Jamaicans. I am not celebrating it, emancipation. I am embarrassed to say I live and work in the land of Bob Marley. For too long, we have pondered to stakeholders, consultation after consultation, and to what end? I will celebrate when my recommendations for changes to the Education Act are implemented. Time come, fume the dreadlock politician whose phone went unanswered when contacted by the Gleaner. Jamaicans for Justice had initially filed the case in 2018 and obtained an injunction allowing the child to attend the school, where it is understood she has been performing exceptionally well, despite the controversy surrounding her here. I am very happy that the child is settled in spite of all the rumblings and to and fro and the legal implications that the situation has. I don't even know. Zine, alright, and normally the youth of Kensington normally perform very well, so I suppose that is why it's a primary school of choice. So watch this now. The organization said it has taken note of the court's oral decision and awaits the written judgment explaining the reason for the decision. We believe that no child in Jamaica should be denied education because they wear locks or forced to cut their hair. That this news comes during emancipation celebrations reminds us that the need to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery, the group said. Bob Marley turned star again. You understand? Expressing concerns on the issue, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said, our children must not be discriminated against or deprived of their right to an education on the basis of their hairstyle. This government does not believe that there should be any law which could be interpreted to deny access to a citizen merely on the basis of their hairstyle. We have as a right sensitive government always maintain that our children must not be discriminated against nor deprived of their right to an education because of socio-economic issues, such inability to afford school fees, or socio-cultural issues such as their hairstyle. only said the time has come to review and amend the Education Act to reflect a modern and culturally inclusive position that protects our children from being barred from any educational institution on the basis of wearing locks as an ordinary hairstyle, irrespective of religious reasons. Done it long. Child's advocate Diane Gordon Harrison said she could not make any substantive pronouncement without the written judgment. The Office of the Children's Advocate has been a party to the proceedings. We were actually one of the persons who supported the taking of the matter before the Constitutional Court, she said. The court was of the view that given the circumstances of the particular case and how the arguments were put forward in this particular case, the merits of the case as far as the court was concerned did not in fact amount to constitutional breach. You understand? Alright, let me finish it up. Let me finish it up. Zine? But while Gordon Harrison was cautious in her comments, some residents of Portmore St. Catherine, where the school is located, did not hold back as they gave their views on the ruling. Although they praised the strict disciplinary standards instituted at Kensington Primary, they believe the court's decision will fuel classism. I bet you if it was Bob Marley youth going over there, them wouldn't have nothing to say. Everybody would have just accept him, hug him up. Why this girl any different? Asked Rastafarian vendor Christopher Thompson. Thompson's comment ignited another outburst on Coolers Corner in Southborough, Portmore, where the ruling was a hot topic discussion among a group of friends. I don't have any problem with the school. You know, it's a very disciplined, clean school. You can't even drive onto the compound like that. But at the same time, you can't stop picnic from school because of hairstyle. How that? One man fumed. I don't think this is going down well with the public. So many years we have been fighting this, and honestly, I thought we had passed that. Offered fruit vendor Robert Reed. I can't believe this is even an issue. How would this be an issue in 2020? Others, like Rastafarian Prince Wigan, describe the ruling as discrimination against Rasta. Any hair can carry germs or lice. If a child has locks or long hair, it is the same lice. So why she can't come in? And you can bet that the little girl is one of the best behaving students over there. He said, I will probably do a call-in stream probably tomorrow to hear the views of the masses on the situation. Before I go any further though, first and foremost, the court did not rule to ban all Rastas from attending schools in Jamaica. Let me reiterate that. Zin, the court, in its judgment, in no way, shape or form, ruled that no school in Jamaica should prevent a child of the Rastafarian faith or hairstyle from attending. The ruling was in reference to one particular case. Yeah? One situation. So let me get that out of the way. Secondly, the Prime Minister's response. I mean, when things happen with clamor, well, not me personally, but people clamor for the Prime Minister to respond. Then, I think the Prime Minister has become a slave to social media, and sometimes the Prime Minister, in an attempt to appease people who are upset or in an emotional state, kind of say some things where may not have been the best statements at the time. I say, I know people are go upset tonight. See? The Prime Minister has to understand that in Jamaica, there is what we call separation of powers. You understand? The Prime Minister is a part of the legislature. He is a part of the body that make rules and laws in the country. The Prime Minister is not a part of the judiciary. The court system ought to be independent of influence from any politician. What the Prime Minister might have done is spoken prematurely on a matter which has not, the full judgment, the written judgment has not been made public. Zane, and this is my personal opinion, I think the Prime Minister would have erred in addressing the matter as it sits presently. What the Prime Minister ought to do is go to Parliament and get the legislation on books or the Education Regulation and the Education Act amended to treat with the situation. The Prime Minister cannot run to social media every time there's a clamoring on social media. You don't run the country on social media, family. My opinion. Yeah? So that's a one. Second, well, that's a third. Because the first one, me says that the court never said no Rasta can go no school in Jamaica. The ruling simply says that the child's constitutional rights were not breached. That is what the ruling says. Alright. Many persons have spoken and many persons are citing discrimination and racism and all sort of things. Yeah? My question to people though is that how many Rastafarian children attend schools in Jamaica? Many. As a matter of fact, I have taught in my teaching career many Rastafarians. Zane, at the school I was before now and the school that I am now. Present, well, I have any Rastafarians in my class now? Probably not. But I have taught Rastafarians many years. Many years. Zane, so as far as I know, most schools, majority of the schools that I know in the public education system have no issue accepting Rastafarian children. So I suppose some persons are making up out to be that schools in Jamaica are against dreadlocks students. That is not true. There's an instance down at Kensington and we're talking about that. So don't generalize. Because I know schools and administrators and administrations that has no issue with accepting Rastafarian and they are treated like any other children. Yeah? As a matter of fact, I have taught children who are Rastafarians who as soon as them get the opportunity, them trim them here. Because the rest is something that wasn't of their choosing. So some of the youths them too are being this Rasta thing is being forced upon some of the youths them by them parents. And me a talk of experience. Zane, where children have expressed, sir, I am so happy to cut my hair. This was not my choosing. You understand? I have been ridiculed for it. I have been ostracized for it. And I am happy that I can cut my hair. So there is many sides to the dynamics. Zane? Alright. What me I say is that no, you see, Empress Crystal, we can't say the court is biased because when the courts rule in a way that it favors us or in our opinion them correct, the courts are the greatest thing. And when the court rule on something we don't agree with, the court are the worst thing. So I'm not sure still. You understand? What I think is that at this point in time, we shouldn't be at this stage discussing the importance of a hairstyle in the situation. What the Education Act or regulation should specifically state the parameters and criteria and constraints. So there's no gray area in it. See, thousands and tens of thousands of Rastafarian children have gone through the school system in Jamaica with no issue. From no administrator, from no teacher, from no student. See? So don't forget the fact from the beginning of time, Rastafarians have been going to school in the country. Some of us are behaving like Rastafarians all over the country are being prevented from attending school. That is not true. Zane, one of the grounds on which the principal down by Kensington said they were not willing to accept the child is because they once had some lice infestation out there and it was believed that the origin of said lice infestation was a particular hairstyle worn by a particular student. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know still. At the end of the day, I await the written judgment. I have no issue teaching any child wearing dreadlocks. As I said, I have done it many a times, practically everywhere that I have taught before. So it is neither here nor there for me. You understand what I say? However, let us not proceed without acknowledging the fact that there are people go to school where Rasta twins teach nothing forced upon children in people, faith and religion. This is why they choose to grow their child. But brother, me I tell you what Pitney tell me say, but you can't tell the youth say and that the youth I said the youth grew up in him house, the youth grew up with him parents. You understand? So I will speak for the youth now, where the youth done say X. You can't tell the youth that DeAndre. You understand? Your parents' religion and not your religion. You feel what I say? Your parents' religion and your religion, you know. No, you have people out there on the flip side of it. I say rules are rules and regulations are regulation. If the school say me not accept no Rastafarian child, then you find a next school send a child. I mean, so there's that argument. You understand? And then there's an argument put forward by the Prime Minister and Babsy Grange and many other persons that irrespective of the child's hairstyle, I think that is a gray area as far as I am concerned, and there needs to be specifics in the code of regulation and the Education Act to deal with the situation. It's unfortunate. It was great that an injunction was handed down and thing. Nick's AG said that's discrimination. I suppose it is, yeah, but as me I said, then if you go on shop, see, go buy something, and them not have what you want at that shop there, and the only shop that in our world. You understand? As me I say, and people say me I make excuse, I not make an excuse, me I tell you how me feel about the situation. See? You understand? Your opinion on the matter is not necessarily my opinion and vice versa. See? It no matter how what you say, people are go vex. It no matter how you look on it, people are go vex. Zane. But the reality is that there's no one side to this. It can't be one-sided. You understand? If you go somewhere, go look sitting, and then they don't want to sell it, you go somewhere else, go buy it, I suppose. And life goes on. You understand? Thousands of Rastafarians are in attendance in schools across the country. Thousands of Rastafarian children has attended school in the country. You understand? It's not a private school, you know, it's a primary school. See? As far as I know, I think it's a public school. Yeah? I don't know. So tomorrow night, the people who are upset and the people who are very, very peeved with the situation, feel free to call in and voice a concern. You understand? I listen, I will agree or disagree and thing. This is a situation where, irrespective of your, it would be hip to come and say, hey, and jump with, I mean, you know what I mean? With the popular trend and point of view, but in a life that not always work out. You understand? And as an educator and somebody who in the system, me personally sit down and watch it very closely in terms of not the Rastafarian thing, but the whole hairstyle argument when me see I come to, you know, because you see sometimes we kind of open the door for some things in our future where we never necessarily shouldn't do still. But we just watch and see. See? We just watch and see. So tomorrow night, we're gonna get on a phone charge and thing, and feel free for calling and share your perspective and view on the matter. My perspective is that down the years, thousands of children have attended school in Jamaica, Rastafarian, and we never have this before. Apparently one school decided that they don't want to do that, and me as people, we are free to express our views on the matter and the situation. The court has ruled that the child's constitutional right was not violated. The parents are adamant that they won't trim the child, Zane, and they will appeal the ruling as it is their right to do, and thing. But I know, when I say it is the same as fishery. if the society is promoting it and the parents, so no, they don't ideal with fishery, the system can pressure them so that they would want to join fishery. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So Erica is providing some more context. She's saying that Kensington is a public school. The matter was in the board's hand and the parents refused to go. So, you know what I mean? So teach, it seems then that it is the outdated. Right. So that is what I said earlier in a positive vibes. The Education Act needs to be updated, in some instances reformed, so certain things can no longer remain grey. You understand? Is either black or white. So there's no ground for misinterpretation or misrepresentation and things. So it is, that is what I say. It's not as straightforward as people. Yes. No. There are guidelines that governs public schools. Sometimes principals take stance. Sometimes the stands are not popular with the public and thing, but a leader makes decisions sometimes based on what they see is best for their institution and for the growth and progress of their institution. We won't always agree with these things. And as I say, I understand where people are come from, but I don't think the thing is as cut and dry as some people are saying. And again, for the people out there who have been a walk, I said, the court ban all Rasta from school. That is not true. Stop misrepresenting the court. The court simply said that the child's constitutional right was not violated and the written judgment is still pending. Yeah. Not sure how pleased many people will be with my attempt to address the matter, but it is what it is. And even that statement again, I got anger some people. Because I know some people, and I mean very emotional when it comes on to certain things. I understand that. And thing. Say mental slavery to the core, hating your own people. Okay. Jamaica need to be updated. Just plug in the USB like Android. Yeah. I have locks. I am not a Rasta. See, having locks is the best thing I ever did with my ear. See, it's a person's brain that matter, not one's hair. Okay, Miss Campbell, fair enough, and I have no issue with that. I suppose then the door is going to be open for the dress code, and we are going to hear is the brain and not the dress code. But in schools there are rules, you know. And as I said, probably that's why it's kind of difficult for me address the matter, being a teacher, you understand, and being a disciplinarian per se. You understand? I have done this for a long time. I see how people try to skirt the rules and try to go around certain guidelines and policies. You understand? And one thing lead to the next and all sort of things. I don't even know. You understand? I don't even know. See? As I said, the schools that I have taught, children with dreadlocks have been allowed to attend school there. In some instances, persons have been asked to cover their hair. In other instances, persons were free to wear their hair without covering it. So I don't know that there is that trying to get all Rastas from stop attending school. That is not the case. Yeah, that are my 2 cents now. I'll wait on the written judgment. Then I'll be able. Johnny boy. Johnny H, what I go on? You call it Johnny boy. This is why I love your program. Big up, bro. Boy, I'm there. I try. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. But no, tomorrow night I'm going to be fiery. But why this rule teach? Given how Rasta have been downgraded over the years, why punish this child for past? I don't know that the child was being punished for a past instance, you know. I suppose that school, Kensington, has been a funny school. You understand? The principal over there has had many run-ins and many court battles with parents. She operates a particular type of way, and I suppose her defense is that her students always do exceptionally well, and people always want their kids to attend the school. See? So this is not a one-off thing. I am certain But I suppose this one has garnered the most interest because of the situation and such. So I don't know that the child was being punished. But I don't even know if to tell her. See it? Just know say practically every school in Jamaica accept Rastafarians. You understand? Then the principal need to change our way of thinking. Then that is possible. One suggestion. Many persons have lauded the principal. Many persons are against her ways and methods. I don't know Rasta. I don't know. As me don't tell me personally, I have nothing against a Rastafarian kid attending school. Absolutely none. I have taught many of them. You understand what I say? So it's neither here nor there for me in terms of the youth a Rastafarian, so him not for come to school. The youth for go to school. You understand? But then again, is it that straightforward? See? 99% of the schools we accept, and then 1% we say no. You understand? But I suppose people are going to say about teach education, so every youth, every school should be on the same page. You understand? So, yeah, the child can be prevented from going to school because of her parents' religion and faith. I don't know that that age the child is able to say Rastafarian is her religion. Probably I am wrong there. I don't know. Zane, somehow though, I suppose that there will come a point where all schools will be required mandatorily to accept a child with locks, and it not gonna be no problem. So I suppose it's just a starting point of the discussion, and the necessary steps will be taken. As I said, the Education Act was created in 1965, if memory serves me correctly, and the education regulation was drafted in 1980. So those documents are really and truly outdated in many instances for real. I have seen where teachers have run into problems, and you look into the code of regulations, and there are just so many gray areas. You understand? So while the man them busy are about money and Ministry of Education, them not realize reform is needed, Zane, and some of the basic things that the ministry should be trying to fix is, well, I don't know. That are next thing. That are the next thing. Don't quote me on the education. I think it's the Education Act, which is of 1965, and the Education Regulation is of 1980. It could be the other way around, but then it could be how me say it still. So, no quote me upon that. I know people ask about teach, how you don't know which year. Then, I know why not them, I don't necessarily remember which one right now. Then, don't pressure me like that. Zane, I also hope that good sense will prevail, and the child will be allowed to continue her education at the institution without cutting her hair. You understand what I say? And thing. See? Arlene sees her brother uniform different from here. You're here and your uniform are part of your grooming. So yes, they're not the same physical thing, but they are part of your person. You understand what I say? So whichever way you're gonna say you want to separate them, we down in the end, them really and truly inextricably linked. You understand what I say? So, you know what I mean? Yes, me see you, brother, you come late. Me done big up to all of the Arsenal fans already, and congratulations, and you know what I mean, the work. So me don't know where else the whole heap of excitement for. Me understand still, you guys don't really win a lot of things these days, so me know no win something, you know what I mean, you celebrate for years, but everything good. Me understand, me not pressure you still, me not feel no way about it, me understand. Congratulations, brother. Yeah, nah, pressure your brother this. Enjoy it. Auntie. So you know, peeps. You say I'm late like Arsenal. Yeah, 14 times, but you know we nothing important in about 14 years, brother. FA Cup, yeah, FA Cup is there. When last in the league, how much Champions League gonna have? Calm down, man. Super Cup and Yes, the big trophy we are talking about, you know. Yeah, man. Alright, I can move on now, peeps. So that tomorrow night, all being well, seeing I will open up the phone lines for persons to express their views, their grouses, their disappointment, their suggestions and things. Yes. Alright, brother. Big up yourself. Yeah, man. FA Cup a big trophy, man. We not go road it still, but you understand? I don't know why you pressure my side, sir. You understand? And big up to your referee too. Me leave it there, sir. Yeah, man. Nah, I blame nobody, but big up to your referee. Yeah. So, peeps, the courts, as Miss Crystal said earlier, the court system abuse. In many instances, them are that for true, Crystal. I can't go around that. You understand? But I suppose these things happen. You see me? These things happen. You understand? Yeah, man. Listen to that story. To show you about your court system as well, Crystal said. Because you can't fight Crystal for what she saying. So your court system is based here, sir. And based on what your court system do from time to time, you can't disagree, Rasta. That brother, yeah. You understand? That brother, yeah. Man freed of murder charge after 100 court appearance. Peeps, imagine you are charged for a crime. See? Teach good night. The Rasta thing in children going to school did stop. Who remember Jabuke when Michael Manley sent him to Jamaica House, basic school, and no children should stop through them here. Yeah, man, I don't think you ever stop going to school because you're here, family. You see it? I agree with the 100%. Now, whether the man guilty or not isn't even matter again in a Rasta. You have a man that got caught 100 times. I joke business. As Crystal said, the court are base. In that instance of Crystal, I can't counter you. I have to accept it. You understand? The court is a lot of things that I can't say right now. We're not fit for the year. 100 court appearances. When I say the trial is going on for 100 days, you know, the man got caught 100 times. Man, they are really X-Files. Listen this. Yeah, man.
Something alright. Something alright, yeah.
Something alright, man. It took 13 years and at least 94 court appearances before 10 judges and 4 prosecutors before a murder case against Linford Allen was tossed for lack of evidence. You know, this is evidence of madness that Rasta. Miss Arlene says, so we answer the principal to resign. But you know funny thing about that, Miss Arlene, I want to tell you, say, 3/4 of the parents them run out of school and now go on that night, you know, so I don't even know Rasta. You understand? Miss Angie Mills said the court system needs an animal. Jaja. It's a situation Justice Minister Delroy Chokoff admits should not have happened, yeah? Allen, who describes himself as a country boy, like teach them, came to town seeking to join the army. A good move that. Believes he fell victim to the police's desire to convict someone for the 2005 murder of 28-year-old financial analyst Jamie Lou. The Crown alleged that Lou was abducted in the Constant Spring area in December of 2005 and taken to Grandspence St. Andrew, where he was forced to give up the PIN number for his debit cards. Withdrawals were then made from automated machines at several banks. Lou was then shot dead and his body discovered in the back of his Honda CR-V along Mayfair Avenue on the 31st of December 2005. Allen was among 6 persons, including 2 women, charged in the wake of the murder. He was last he was the last to be freed of the charges. Speaking with the Sunday Gleaner recently, Allen recounted the early morning raid when the flying squad officer took him and his then girlfriend from the room in which they slept in Grandspen. For 3 weeks, neither knew where the other was in the police lockup system, and for 49 days he saw neither a judge nor a lawyer. When his girlfriend was released on bail, she began to search at various lockups for him. When he was found in Portmore, he was visited by the first lawyer he saw, who the police said was sent by his parents, but he later discovered was a state-provided legal aid counsel. I am certain that I go to court more than 100 times, he said. I went to halfway tree court for more than 4 times, and even the day when the judge offered me bail is not on the list of... Well, on. Let me get this. I went to the halfway tree court more than 4 times, and even the day when the judge offered me bail is not on the list from the DPP's office. But what they have on record is 94 times. The list he referred to, prepared by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, chronicled Allen's court appearance in a June 2020 letter to Attorney at Law John Clark. It shows that he was charged on the 17th of March 2006, and his first court appearance was nearly 8 months later, on the 2nd of November. His final court appearance was on October 8, 2019, when the matter was dismissed. Allen believes the justice system is designed to send poor people to prison even when they are not guilty. Wow. I went before 10 judges and 4 prosecutors. One of them, the prosecutors, got a fiat, which is a special permission from the DPP, to try the case, he recounted. You know what hurt me most of all? One of the prosecutors looked at my lawyer and said, all right, John Clark, everybody knows you're a poor people lawyer. And me turn around and say, yeah, that's why you want me go to prison just because I'm poor. And she reports, me threaten her. It burned me because it means that the state wants to send me to prison even when it know it never have no case against me. They keep coming to court and giving reason after reason until the judge find me not guilty based on their case. It not right, miss. It not right, he said, the pain heavy in his voice. Allen disclosed that he now has to seek medical attention regularly because of beatings he received while in custody. 3 weeks ago, he missed a scheduled interview because he was admitted to hospital. They want me to become a witness for the state, but I tell them I don't know anything about the murder. They delay, like they're trying to beat something out of me or force me to say something, and I keep telling them I don't know anything about the matter, he said. Allen said the regular pain he feels are part of the scars from the incarceration. He is now bringing a suit against the state, and his lawyer Clark told the Gleaner that Allen could not have committed the murder, as medical records show he was hospitalized at the time. Wow. Clark believes Allen was being schooled to become a crown witness. It was an abuse of power by the state, and it has been going on for a long time, and it happens mostly to poor black people, the attorney said. Prisoners are treated better than detainees at the Horizon Remand Center. As unconvicted man, he had less rights than the convicts. Wow. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck said that while he is not aware of the specific case, the details as related by the Gleaner were alarming. It is really quite unconstitutional to drag a case out for such a long period and take an accused person back to court in excess of 10 to 30 times, much less 94 times. To my mind, at this point, the Crown should have made a decision to stop the case by null prosecute, a formal notice of abandonment by a plaintiff or prosecutor of all or part of the suit. Or if the Crown fails to do so, in my view, that the courts should dismiss the case for want of prosecution, he said. I'm tired. How the hell? Oh, you have a man I got quote 100 times, family. See? And deep down you realize, first First thing, I can't say the man innocent or guilty. Because he can't say anything he wants to say. And as I said earlier, at this point in time, it don't even matter if the man innocent or guilty. See? The man constitutional rights have been obliterated, not even breached. You see me? Now, irrespective of whether I'm guilty or I'm innocent of involvement in the crime, I really and truly hope him take the government to the cleaners. You understand what I say? We can't defend a justice system where do things like this, family. We can't defend a justice system where have a man in a prison for 40 odd years without trial, 30 odd years without trial, 20 odd years without trial. Then we can't do that. And I hope the brother case is of such where him eat a good food off of the government, because I mean for stop the crap. The reality is that I have to go pay for still because tax money they use paid. You understand? But say the government for continue to feel it, man. Enough people them take for a ride like that, peeps, and we can't go around that. You understand what I say? Justice are justice, man. You can't. Yeah, man. Nix. John Clark said they're filing suit against the government, so that's pending, I suppose. See? Sue them, man. So it means that when you sue them now, steps will be taken. But annoying, I hope you're wrong in a broski. Because here what? The more people sue them, is the more them realize that the justice system, certain things need to be fixed forthwith. You understand what I say? Yes, a spade. Me get that in a broski, but me I say right now, whether him involved in the murder, yeah or nay, you can't have the man I got quote 100 times, brother. See? It's either you dismiss the case or you push up the evidence forward for convict the man Rasta. You see me the point? 100 times. Brother, sue them. You understand? Sue them. Speaking about the courts, let me see if I can find a picture here over here, so because we have a court there. You know there was some legislation that was passed in the House of Representatives one of them time. You understand? Teach, and this case falls under parlor. Yeah, fall under parlor, we no business we fall under. Sue them. You understand? Paula and my mother in a family. You understand? As me say, we know the situation with me and Paula in terms of I think more time she get an unfair rap because of the whole investigation and the justice system. It no matter who you fall under. You understand? If she involved in it, so her too. You see me? Yeah, man. We no business with the guy or the girl family. You understand? Injustice or injustice, you know. Now, there was some legislation not so long ago where it became mandatory for lawyers to disclose to the police force if they come across information that their clients are involved in money laundering and some other things. As you would know that any lawyer would not want that to happen. Because it means if me is a lawyer, you know, this. And me I represent you and me find out say, you know, say, yo, this. I launder some money around, so. And me not tell the police me could have got a prison. If me related to Paula, me not think so, you know. Me not think so, me not know. Yeah, so me have to go check it out. I don't think so. No, I don't think the DPP can be sued in their personal capacity still. See, me just say that. Me just say that, well, me don't know specifically finna, but me doubt it. You'd have to go sue her through the Ministry of Justice, I suppose. Sue the office through the Ministry of Justice, I suppose. Yeah? Alright. So you know the attorneys them never was having it. And there was representation on their part and court quashes law forcing attorneys to police their clients. Listen what go on. Listen what go on. Listen. Jamaica's legal fraternity has lauded the Court of Appeal's decision on Friday to quash the much disputed 2013 amendments to the Proceeds of Crimes Act, or POCA, that lawyers said would force them to police their clients. The Jamaica Bar Association, we'll refer to as JAMBAR, going on, largely succeeded in its challenge of the POCA requirements that stipulated that attorneys report their clients to the FID, which is the Financial Investigations Division, Rural Police, if attorneys suspected that they were involved in money laundering. So if you represent a man as a lawyer and you suspect him involved in a money laundering, it was your responsibility to mandatorily report the matter to the police. So then you know, say, lawyer-client privileges did gone out the door. Jambar had argued that such an amendment would be in breach of confidentiality in attorney-client relations and amounted to a conflict of interest. In reality, it's true. The association had emphasized that while its members did not condone money laundering or the facilitation of any crime, the legislation was unconstitutional and it failed to take into account the unique role that lawyers played in the administration of justice. That's our next story for you next time. So you know, the appeal court upheld the designation of attorneys as non-financial institutions. Amendments to the Legal Profession Act were also found not to be unconstitutional. In 2017, the Constitutional Court had ruled against the Bar Association, stating that the regime did not prohibit attorneys from loyally and properly representing their clients, but instead created a framework where lawyers could not turn a blind eye if they had reasonable grounds for knowing a whole heap of liar then dead. Let me just say that openly. If this legislation remain, this amendment, and a man is in police custody and he's being represented by lawyer X, and him realize after a while say lawyer X, based on discussions that they had said to the police that my client is involved in money laundering, and the client could then prove say the lawyer said enough lawyer who then dead family. They just a reality that. You understand? It's just like how witness disappear in a case sometimes. Some lawyer then disappear. It's a sad reality. You understand? And thing. Miss Joan Gray said, who can sue this government and win? Nah, man. Miss Joan Gray, millions of dollars the government pay out in lawsuits on an annual basis. You'd be start. As a matter of fact, I go and do the research and get the figure. Many Jamaicans file cases against the government in this country for various things, and they are very, very victorious many times. Many times. You understand? So you know, shall we there? Where we there? Yeah, so on Friday, the Court of Appeal ruled as unconstitutional paragraphs of POCA relating to attorneys' obligations to report suspicious transactions. The court also struck down requirements from attorneys to reveal clients' secrets and swept aside certain allied obligations under the General Legal Counsel enforcement regime. We are very happy to receive this decision from the Court of Appeal. This judgment overturns a significant aspect of the judgment of the full court, and it is very important because what we are seeking to do is to protect clients' legal professional privileges. Emil Leiber, president of Jambar, said him up on screen right here. So. Yeah? The man in the pic look like a general though. Him are the president of the Bar Association in a bro god. Jaja. This means fundamentally that attorneys at law, when a potential client comes to you with confidential information, you are bound to keep their information, and what was said to you is confidential. This legislation was seeking to remove that level of confidence to a degree. Jambar president said he was yet to digest the more than 600-page paragraph judgment. See? And things. So in the United Kingdom, attorneys are obligated to report suspicious transactions to the authorities. Similar regimes exist in Australia and Malaysia. The contentious model was, however, challenged in Canada by its law society on the basis that it would curtail the independence of the bar and erode lawyer-client privilege. It's difficult to ask a lawyer to report on them clients. I remember I not pay a lawyer, them, you know, it go rough, you understand? And them things. Empress Cookie say more look highly. Jaja. Yeah, so I suppose you still have to protect the lawyer client privileges, and the moment you really start trouble that, then the thing I go start running a problem here, Rasta. You understand? So peeps, you know them are cut one highway between Clarendon near to Maypen Bridge out there, so. And Maypen Bridge that? I think so. You understand? Right at the near to the Sandy Bay roundabout that after you done the highway there, so. You understand? For head to Maypen or go Osborne Store, Swansea there, so. See, I think the road I go start somewhere out there, so, and go to Mandeville. But you know, with any road construction, there's always issue of lands coming up. See, farmlands, people house, graves, all sort of things are gonna be a part of the thing. Now, apparently, the construction has run into a roadblock, so to speak, where residents in a particular community decides things have to stop until them talk to NRAC and thing. Glenmure Bridge, not Maypen Bridge. Maypen Bridge is further down so for true. You understand? That is true. Yeah. Big up on yourself. Glenmure Bridge. Alright, Glenmure Bridge. See? Yeah. Anthony Williams, big up yourself in a Rasta. You know what thing go. Watch out now, peeps. Protesters stop bulldozers in their tracks. Highway construction in Redberry stalled as homes and graves are threatened. You understand? Boy, grave thing rough, Rasta. Because, well, in some cases, they relocate the remains. You understand? And normally when the government want the land, by law, you have to sell it to them. See? That's the next thing, I suppose. Yeah, Finari, that same act there, the Land Acquisition Act. In most road construction, brother, that act is used by the government. Because, you know what thing go? Imagine, boy, it's rough still. After 4 days of clearing lands for a section of the Maypen to Williamsfield leg of the Highway 2000, a fierce protest by residents in Redberry, Manchester has halted China Harbour Engineering Company check. The order, which was revealed on Friday during an impromptu meeting with residents, arose out of complaints about unauthorized work that threatened the demolition of homes and the disturbing of graves. Valton Simpson, I nearly call him man Valuation Simpson. Valton Simpson, Health, Safety and Environmental Engineer Manager at Czech, sought to placate the enraged crowd by describing the road clearing as a breach of your rights. I have issued an instruction for the work to stop, so the work has stopped. Therefore, we will have to do what we should do with respect to notification, and we are coming to talk to you before the work can resume. So we're never going to talk to the people and before the work start. That's a part of the problem with this country, Rasta. You understand? You can't build a road, seeing, and you know, say you go through people place and you know link the people them and talk to the people them. It's after on start the thing and people start get cross, man all jaw for stone and cutlass, you don't want to talk to people. Then there's no respect for the people in the country, Rasta. DJ, D1, me understand what you answer, brother. You see me? If a man never come out, come Blackie Road, there's still a clear land, brother. So why you never got to the people them before? You see why foolishness can't stop, you know? Because the people them were supposed to do the thing the right way. Always do the thing the wrong way. You can't want bully a man over him land. You go to the man and say, this is the situation. Zane, we plan to cut the road here, so. Based on the projections, See, and the surveying, you understand, and all other things what we do. See, geophysical testing and them something there. The road I go run through the piece of land there and understand say you are the owner for the land. See, based on the situation, this is where we at. Where are you at? You understand me? I say you can't go cut down the man them place and want to build road without to talk to the man them. Yeah, me I say man. We show me there right now. Remember there? Boy, yeah. Residents had for days complained that the alignment of the highway would change their lives and livelihoods forever. It probably going to do that for true. You understand? But Simpson sought to excuse check for culpability for the alignment, insisting that it was the Jamaican government and the National Road Operating and Constructing Company, NROC, that bore responsibility. Me not look here who going to fix it. You understand what I say? And deal with the people them right. The company with such responsibility is NROC, and they are in dialogue with the family members. So they will not leave the family members out of it. What do you mean like they will not leave the family member out of it? Like, those graves will be relocated to a place agreed by that family member. Teach them, learn it from the Chinese. Chinese officials are bullies. Yeah? The residents also expressed concerns that one of the disrupted grave sites might have been the burial place for a malaria patient. So yes, based on all this sort, see, it's like the man never cut them road. You understand? Enough consultation has not been made. So them have cut some roads, some places where people might have been buried. One protester with whom the Gleaner spoke said that the residents were exasperated as they had been ignored for days. It have to take us to stop the work for you guys to even show up. As far as I am concerned, everybody is giving us a runaround, the resident who requested anonymity said. You will hear a check response for this, NROC response for this, the government response for this, and when we talk to the separate entity, them send we back round in a circle. Match up your circle. You understand? At least one resident referenced the language barrier between homeowners and the Chinese contractors. When the Chinese them come and talk to you, them say, some only look like all expletives. We can't understand that. Them not come with no interpreter, nothing, the resident said. How we gonna understand them and them understand we? Simpson sided with the residents that their demonstration was the right course of action. What you have done today, you have done the right thing. You have the power to do it, said Simpson. This is your community, and if they come in here, they must treat you with respect, he added. Simpson want to slap out one cutlass too. That cutlass there on the screen, as a matter of fact. You understand? Nobody chop him, just slap him. You understand? Yes, Rasta. Come on, man. A modern times we live in, man. Treat people with respect, family. We understand that development is a must. You understand you're going to have major constructions from time to time. But what we have to say is that you know in your head say you can get the land if you need the land. But deal with the people them like a human being, Rasta. Or if you have Chinese that talk to the people them. Some of the people them don't even understand English all that well, and a Chinese when you send go and talk to them. You know, so you take the people them for fool, family. May I go and watch this, and I probably need to go down on that part there on the other side there, you know. Go see where really I go on. You understand? Joke thing. So you know my thing, you know, we big up the police and the soldier them when we get the opportunity for do, and we cuss them when we have to cuss them. You understand? Because good works are good works. You understand? I kind of see a local thing I go on and I call Operation Clean Up. Cleanse is on. You understand? And the cleanse must continue until there's nothing more to clean up. See? And yeah, when we cleanse go on with the police force, we need a cleanse of the politicians them and parliament and them places too. And the police force too. I only for cleanse, but you take a cleanse them when them come. You understand? It's not a full body cleanse, but it's a cleanse. You see me? You cleanse the underbelly. See? We're seeing where the police and the military has been reaping great success in their pursuit of wanted men and gangsters, and also retrieval of illegal guns and ammunition in this country. I have often said that there is this cry for community policing and softer policing. Seeing there's a place for that. But in a Jamaica, soft policing alone can't work. Because you're some tough criminal. You understand what I say? In some instances, you have to fight fire with fire. See? And that's the thing there. You understand? And in some instances, you need police officers with the reputation of a trinity. You understand? A Renita Adams. You see me? A Pusey. You understand? A Karate Georgie. You see me? So a serious policeman when I'm busy with a guy. I work them as I do some work. Because not for the man them these days we walk and kill people, no fear than the police are getting them. You understand? So the reality is that you need boots on the ground with some tough heels. And the roach them when you walk around and kill people if you get crushed. And flush. No dancer, so if we go back to those days, we are set. I want you to listen to me clearly, brother. I don't want you misrepresent the teacher, you know. What the teacher said, we need police who is fearless for much. The man them were fearless. You understand? This arm around the shoulder thing to work with some guy. You feel what I say? So you can't have heartless men a run around the country and murder people and a pat on the shoulder policing that no work, Rasta. Right now there's a disruption of the thing. Man a run up and down, man confused, man nah sleep good again. Because them realize say yo, we think serious. Black and East and all the bread for the politician. You know me I go on holy faith to the brother. Me I go on holy faith. You understand? Yeah, we are going holy faith. One day. You see me, in order to fix crime in our country, man, you have to disrupt some things, man. Get some man out of them comfort zone, brother. You see me, the point? Because the man them get comfortably in the thing, Rasta. Zine, you need, when the soldier them go street, brother, if no judge, jury, executor around here, no, we not say that, DeAndre, but we are say, when police and soldier go make raid, a man open fire. Fire with fire, brother. We not say a man just go kick down door and their lives are not under threat and them kill people. We don't say that. You understand? Well, we are say, the man them serious, so we have to deal with the man them serious too, brother. You understand? The man them not show no mercy when them a kill people in a road, boy. That me I telling you, you know. And we see him one come here come ball every week, you know. So the man them heartless and the man them cool, you know. You see me the point? So how you gonna deal with heartless man and cool man? Now heartless and cool you gonna deal with them said way, brother. So we not condone no police a kick down our soldier, a kick down the man door, and their lives are not at stake, or there's no threat being posed, and them kill people in that. But when a guy decides to go point a gun at the police or the soldier them, anything him get him for take Rasta. Zine, right now me I say some disruption and some dislocation. Man I run up and down all over the place. Man I run left, gun and start sitting, brother. Zine, the thing have to get serious. You understand? How many more years you're going to have 1,500 murders in the country? And many times, as some of the same man, them do the same thing them. You understand? And as me I say, yo, I have to get rid of corruption out of the police force, you know. Because that's a part of the problem in the rest. Big part of the problem, you know. The politician, boy, do you even get me started upon that? But what go on is a pushback. And you know, when me are looking at it, you know, me I laugh to myself and me I say, yo, the pushback you couldn't go on long before now. But because teach head big more time and only was space in there for things kind of flow from side to side. And me I look at me and say, pushback, it's on. But the pushback, yeah. I'm glad for the pushback, you know. But the pushback when I look on the pushback and me I say, Jaja, I want never cause election to come while the pushback so strong. Whether pushback I did there from day one. You understand? Will the pushback continue when election come and gone? Is the pushback, if you say, yo, in recent months, the security forces led by this government has seen to the arrest or elimination of the country's most wanted men and the retrieval of many high-powered weapons and the fight against crime continue, and this government has been investing in crime. I don't know. I hope that is not the thing. You understand? And thing. You see? Viewers delight. If the police them have warrants to kick off the door, I don't know what the police them have when they go on these raids. You know? I couldn't tell you. You understand? I cannot speak to that. Whether warrants are there, yeah or nay, I don't know. I would be lying if I tell you otherwise, brother. You understand? But I don't know, you know, brother. The criminal them when them kick off you doing a warranted sometime now, you know. I know that no sound fear, but brother, I don't know still. You understand? Cause I know in the pursuit of justice, you can't become unjust, you know. You see? But I don't know. That's what I say. See? I don't know. I don't know if they get warrants when they go on these raids. You understand? And thing. I don't know. A good question that viewers delight, in all honesty, but I can't tell you. Yeah, so I say now, I wonder if the pushback here is in line with elections coming up. You understand? Where man I try to secure them political view. I don't know, Rasta. As me as I hope is a broader initiative. You understand? Geared at normalizing, not normalizing. Mobilizing the security forces in a targeted way, driven by intelligence. You understand? You realize that most of the operations recently have come off like clockwork. You understand? It would suggest that the intelligence would have been spot on. You understand? Even though based on what going on the horizon part, you may say the intelligence was good as well. I don't know what going on there, so 3 police head up there. You understand? But it want to look like the JDF was not present there still, so probably the outcome would have been different in that one. It was just the police, I suppose. No disrespect to the police, but the reality is that when the soldier them did it, the thing runs smoother. You understand? Because them man, they get particular training. So it's like information I run, like some man a squeal, you understand, and the chips are fall in place. You understand? Yeah. The latest one, so I could deal with the one today, then we go back to the 10 people them. So you know, the one I did the video this morning, I still never have a lot of information at the time, but I used what I had as best as I could to do the video, where the police would have gone in search of one of Clarendon's most wanted man, Leon Rose, OC Hitler. He has been wanted for a long time. Apparently, intelligence suggested that he was at a house in the Buzzrock section of the Effortville community in Clarendon on the outskirts of Maypen. Reports are that the Joint Police military team who was conducting the operation, when they approached the premises, they were greeted by gunfire. Evasive action would have been taken and the fire returned. And at the end of the shooting, 6 men were found suffering from gunshot wounds. They were taken to the hospital where they were pronounced dead. 2 soldiers also received graze injuries. I suppose one of them, their helmet was grazed. One of them, I think their leg was grazed. So the soldiers were not seriously injured, I suppose. and thing. Yeah. So now 3 guns were seized. 1 AK-47 rifle, 1 M16 rifle, and a shotgun, a pump action rifle. I think that's what they call it. Yeah, it's a pumpy, we say in Jamaica. See? I have seen the rhetoric under my video, and persons would have brought it to my attention on other social media platforms like Instagram, where people have been saying that how come a 6-man dead and a 3 gun them fine? I mean, I try to figure out that's something. It's like people are say, if you kill 6 man and 6 gun, if you fine. Me can't understand the rationalization there. Because if you go on a police operation, then and you approach a premises, and men who open fire at you, you're not tap and see who have gone from, man, I run up and down, you just shoot after people, because people are shoot after you. You understand? So I don't know that anything sinister is at play. I don't know that any corruption is at play here, so it's where these youths pick up their name, they and J a long time when you talk about name thing, you know. You understand? So it's like, man, want the soldiers them announce all men inside the building were armed. Exit the building with their weapons. And all men inside the building who are not armed, lay on the ground, stay put until the shootout done. I don't know, some people come by them explanation. You understand what I say? If you in a house, them the hours and night with men who are believed to be gangsters and wanted by the police, and the police them show up, then anything can happen, brother. You understand? Some of them man them would have be surprised by the police. Them couldn't find for them gun. Probably some of them gun hide out in a places. You know, me not understand people. You understand what I say? Me not understand. See? So it's like they want the police them for call the man them and say, yo brother, me also not there that location there. Me I come link on me and the soldier them in a few. So who have gun sort out on yourself and who not gun take on yourself. I don't know what no want from the police, brother. Or the soldier them. You understand? We say we want law and order in our country, and we want crime and violence to cease. But we find everywhere to discredit the security forces. You understand what I say? We find everywhere to claim all sort of crap against the police them and thing. Big up to the police them, Rasta and the soldier them. That's work or not work. You understand? Gone are the days when them 6 men would have been killed and Beer Road, Black Road, and Effortville and down a May Pen. You see the road of black, you know, see people tired of foolishness. Right now, if people look like people could have keep a party, them would have skip a party. You understand? But in the days, all no man out a street, a bun tire and a cut down tree for Black Road again a morning. You not even dog me back down a May Pen there. You understand? God, the people them tired, brother. The people them tired of the crime and violence. You see me? Our place, I saw the thing going on, mommy. You know, we can't always agree upon everything. You understand? I will never agree with everything you say. You will never agree with everything I say. You understand what I say? They have duty to serve and protect. But I don't know what kind of duty to serve and protect when you go to a building and man open fire. You understand? Then what the police them are going to do, Empress, in a real life? The good, so for the bad, I don't know, say, on house where young men there, where they want to say are gangsters, they're not good there still. I don't know still. I don't know. You see me? Right now, show me a company answer, that me and tell you. You will never see teach them run certain man. You understand what I say? So, but no. That's how you think there. You see? We have to understand, say, the situation in our country right now, and a boy situation. You understand? A big man situation, and the man them choose them own destiny. You understand? Now, I not choose it for them, and them choose it for themselves. See? When these men, our place, a walk and kill people wantonly, without mercy, a rape like a picnic a woman. You understand what I say? Innocent people are get killed. Then them right, them will. And that's how I think that. You see me? When me I say mummy, in a them time here, no man now wait for no police do no proper policing. Police outside walk out with their hands on your head, a gunshot to reach police. You think police are gonna do? Eh? You think serious Empress? You understand? Right now me tired of crime and violence in our country. You know? You understand? So, me don't know about nobody else. Me tired of it. And big up to the police and soldier them. See? At the end of the day, we can always agree if we disagree. We see things differently. Clean up my thing there. You understand? There's some thing there. See? If you don't go follow rules, folk can't do the pan here. My grandmother normally tell me that, you know. So, I don't know. You understand? These men face have been plastered over the country all about say them most wanted. Why are the round most wanted, man? You see me? That's what I think them. Why are the round most wanted, man? You wanted to. You understand? Police and soldier can pick and choose in a shootout. You understand? Man a fire shot, them a fire shot. Who I best shooter win? Set away, but that's how the thing set. Yeah, 3 more guns off our street. Sometime the fall find your yard and you not even know. Build up a fence, brother. You understand? You don't have no empty space for them walk through. You know we love you in our place. You know what thing in the Empress. But don't say me know what thing you know. And people don't always agree with my viewpoint. See? And I suppose that's one of the reasons why when I do videos per se, I just stick with the information with the stream. It's just the people who want to hear what me think. You understand? Coming at the stream. Because so for the videos, you know, see me, I share my opinion in a video. We just present the information that we got. When at the stream now, we break down some things and share our view. So that is why the stream probably not as, you know what I mean, big as it could be, because some people don't really, you know what I mean, like when the fire burn. You understand? I just so them run. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, you're Rasta. Effortville has been a troubled place for a long time. You understand? A long. So many things have happened up in Effortville. You understand what I say? So many things has happened up in there. And right now, when I time now Clarendon there, them a kill people everywhere. Robbery are going everywhere. Shootout are going everywhere. You understand? The SOE has sought to, you know what I mean, stabilize the situation. I think there was about a 2-week period where there were no murder in Clarendon. Seeing, well, not in the Maypenny area anyways. You seeing? So I'm going to some more information, I know. Blessings our place, man. You know I love it, man. Seeing so two of Clarendon's most wanted men. One of them on the screen. Him name Hitler. 25-year-old Leon, as somebody say, all of the wanted man them we are dead, no man no older than 30. You understand what I say? 2 of Clarendon's most wanted men, 25-year-old Leon Rose, otherwise called Hitler, and 24-year-old Zemar Nelson, otherwise called Terminator Boy, were among 6 persons, well, people killed during a police military operation in Buzzrock, Effortville, in the parish this morning. Both men were wanted for shooting and murders, with Rose said to be the leader of a notorious gang. I think the gang named the Bushman Gang. I could be wrong. You understand? Farm is a rough place to, you know, militant. You understand? So what you know? According to Senior Superintendent Glenford Miller, head of the Clarendon Police, security personnel came under attack during an early morning operation in the community. JDF personnel were conducting some surveillance and patrol in the area when they came under gunfire. The fire was returned by members of the JDF who got support from the JSF during the process. At the end of the fire, 6 men were found suffering from gunshot wounds. It is reported that an AK-47 rifle, M16, and a shotgun along with ammunition were recovered. Yeah. Also, as per the cleanup, one of St. James' most wanted men, Christopher Boyd, OC Plank, a man alleged to be a top lieutenant in the Sparta gang, was nabbed along with a female companion and 8 other men across the St. Andrew Central Police Division on Friday. So one of St. James' most wanted and alleged Sparta gang member arrested in Kingston operation. So me I go give you this and then I go play something for you. The police are celebrating the capture of one of St. James' most wanted men, Christopher Plank Boyd, otherwise called, well, we said that already, of Red Dirt in Flankers. When I was looking at his wanted thing, I also see the community of Rifle Lane. So him come from Red Dirt and Rifle Lane in Flankers. At a guest house in the St. Andrew Central Division. Me I hear say a guest house, me I hear say apartment complex, me not sure. You understand? On Friday morning, July 31, during an intelligence-led operation, a female companion of Boyd's, who is said to be 18 years old and also hails from Flankers, was also detained in the operation. Boyd is reportedly a top member of the Sparta gang, which is based in Flanker, Mobay. 8 other men, including Lennox, Russell, McLeod. So Russell is some boy place. You see me? You understand? 8 other men, because it was Boyd and the girl at 2 and 8 other men, which make 10. So 8 other men, including Lennox, Russell, McLeod, who is also from Flankers and was being sought and charged of wounding with intent, were also taken into custody. It is in the alleged incident involving McLeod, the complainant was pounced upon by 5 armed men and shot in the Flanker community. Of note, the police say is that Plank was also involved in the shooting where Russell did involve in it. Investigators in Police Area 1, let me find back Plank. Investigators in Police Area 1 say that Boyd was placed on the St. James's most wanted list after he absconded bail on murder charges for the October 22nd, 2017 killings of David Anglin and Sean Titus along the Flanker Main Road. The police say Boyd was also being sought for the January 16, 2018 murder of Desmond Clark, otherwise called Dangles, and for a wounding with intent committed against Andre Hall, aka Bernie, at the Sangsters International Airport runabout in Montego Bay. Boyd was also charged with 2 counts of illegal possession of firearm and illegal possession of ammunition in 2011. Following his court appearance, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison and was released in 2016. Now, following the police operation, a video purportedly surfaced on social media where Boyd's female companion was overheard insisting that she would not allow the security forces to drag Boyd alone inside a room of the guest house. Many people interpreted this to mean that the police wanted to kill Boyd. If the police them find the man in one guest house or an apartment, see, the police them now go want to search the room in the presence of the man. So many people interpret that the police them want to come in the room to kill him, and the police them are wicked and them are criminal. I don't know. Everybody interpret things differently, I suppose. You understand? And things. So the girl was heard crying, pleading that they don't carry me in a room by themselves and things. But before we get to that, So meanwhile, the St. James police escorted entertainer Leroy Russell, otherwise called Tommy Lee Sparta, to the corporate area last week, where searches were conducted at several apartments in his presence. He is currently being held in St. James under the state of public emergency, under suspicions of ties with the Sparta gang. Investigations continue. So now, let me say, this is the audio of the young lady reacting to the police when they would have swooped down and they, I don't know if it's a guest house, I don't know if it's an apartment complex. The information kind of, you know what I mean, not really 100% steady. So this is that interaction there.
Yes, where are you from?
So not talk me.
Talk to me.
Yeah. No, asthma.
You have asthma? Alright, the police. Come.
We are come.
Come.
No,
don't give on. Give him in a room.
Give
me a room.
No.
Yeah, I don't mean what. See, someone tell us. I don't mean what.
No, so let me tell me
Oui, yes sir.
You don't want for me.
I'm not holding on, sir.
See, I'm me want for me. No.
You're not holding on.
No, where am I? Where am I? Yo, put back.
No, you're putting me in the room. You're putting me in the room. You carry out that door.
No, sir, no, sir.
Search your room, so you can't open that door. Come, we are going there. Come on.
This is soup, sir.
Why everybody go outside? Why am I carrying me there?
Go back inside.
Why we are going there?
Soup, sir.
No, why you not carrying me there? I'm from up right there, so I'm search your room. Search your room. But we stand up right there, so.
Go back inside. Do it now. Do it now. Right now. Inside.
Alright,
Go.
Mr.
Sarge.
no, we're not going now.
Mr. Sarge.
What's that?
Please and thanks, Mr. Sarge.
We are not in
Please and
town,
Mr. Sarge.
I found it here right now. No,
Yeah, so Mr. Sarge running and the girl asthma act up and all or something. Oh, this is that player. Relax this up. You understand? So, the thing, why do we even do Rasta? As me I say, some people say that the police had intentions of killing Christopher Boyd. There was nothing in that exchange that suggested to me that that is the case. But I suppose all of us interpret things differently. It was interesting to hear how meek and humble Christopher Boyd was, and polite and pleasant, manageable. It is also interesting to observe, to listen. The young lady, 18-year-old, apparently, the loyalty that she has for the Umbre and thing. Yeah, I look at more thing. A synopsis of the situation as reported by Nationwide.
The police say among the 10 people accused of being connected to the downtown Sparta gang who are in custody this afternoon is Christopher Boyd. Boyd is otherwise known as Plank. He's accused of being one of St. James's most ruthless gangsters. He was arrested today at a hotel in St. Andrew. Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay is head of the JCF's Corporate Communications Unit, CCU.
Yeah, so I'm able to confirm that a man that was wanted in St. James was found at a hotel in Kingston. The operation was carried out by members of the Specialized Operations Team along with some others. Christopher Boyd, otherwise called Plank, and he's said to be a top-tier member of the Sparta gang in Montego Bay.
Boyd has been on the run for several years. He was wanted for the brazen murder in the vicinity of the Sangster International Airport in 2018, which is believed to have helped to trigger the calling of a state of public emergency in St. James. During the incident, Desmond Clark, otherwise known as Dangles, was shot dead, and Andre Hall, otherwise known as Beanie, was wounded. That murder took place while Boyd was on the run in connection with a 2017 double murder in Flanker. SSP Lindsay has confirmed that Boyd has been implicated in several murders.
He was wanted for a number of offenses to include at least 4 murders. He has been evading the police since, and the investigation led them to that location where he was held, along with a female and some other persons. So he's currently in police custody. They're conducting other investigations in regard to his conduct.
Boyd had served 5 years in custody, but was released in 2016. The police say an 18-year-old female of a Flanker address who was held in the company of Boyd remains in custody. In the meantime, a statement from the police says in addition to Boyd and the 18-year-old woman, 8 alleged members of the Sparta gang were also taken into custody last night. Among those detained is Lennox MacLeod, otherwise known as Rossai, who is of a Flanker address. He's wanted for a 2016 case of wounding with intent. The 8 men were detained at an upscale apartment complex in the St. Andrew North Police Division. It's believed the men are among gangsters who've rented upscale complexes in St. Andrew in order to escape the St. James state of public emergency. The police say the operation during which the men were nabbed was conducted a week after they escorted dancehall entertainer Tommy Lee Sparta from St. James to the corporate area. Several apartment complexes were searched in Lee's presence. The police are alleging that Lee is a leader of the Sparta gang. However, the entertainer denies the allegation. He remains in custody under the St. James state of public emergency. Marjorie Gordon for Nationwide News.
Yo, Marjorie, her voice just nice in my ears. Bombard star. When I got able to read so fluently and, you know what I mean, smooth and cool. I work on it still. Probably not really like Marjorie still, but you know what I mean? Yeah, I love it. I like it. Yeah, nice. I listen to your news regular, share read it. So, ah boy. I have some more things to play, but when we reach on to them things, we put on my headphone. Yeah. So that's what news in the streets I say. Tommy Lee has been viewed as the leader, alleged leader of the gang by the security forces that I cannot speak to, and them something there. So I don't know. Persons out there are suggesting that some of the men who have been held down by the police, who have been detained by the police in recent times, who are affiliates of the gang, have been revealing information, hence the seizure of guns and all of them something there and thing. So I don't know. Yeah. That are the thing. The reality is that peeps, the gang thing, the gun thing, and a fun thing. You understand what I say? And if you get involved, you know, police and soldiers are going on the hunting. And you know what thing go. I'm gonna know, I suppose them benefit financially from it. Some of them ego and them street cred and them legend is built. But I don't know. See, this man has been on the run from whenever. See, and I don't know how pleasant and happy a life on the run, hiding from the police and other gangsters can be. You understand? Many people have died for us to be free as Jamaicans down the years, and some man just give them freedom same way. Someone understand. You see me? I don't understand. The Tommy Lee situation, it a look a weird rasta. You understand? It don't look good. You understand? But make we say, the law is the law. So as Adam said, make we see how it go. He has denied any wrongdoings or any involvement in any form of gang related activities. So make we see how it go. Cops launch search after man is abducted in Harborview. So police have launched a search for a group of men traveling in a Toyota Probox motor car who reportedly abducted a man in Harborview, Kingston on Saturday, in the Harborview area of Kingston on Saturday. The victim, who was robbed and beaten, was later found several miles away in a gully that runs along the East Kings House Road in St. Andrew, with his mouth gagged and his hands bound. The victim was found with several broken bones. He has since been admitted to hospital, said the police. So reports are that on Saturday morning, a group of citizens heard muffled sounds coming from the mentioned gully. Imagine if rain did fall and the gully there was flooded, and went to investigate. The man was found face down in the gully. An alarm was raised and a team of police officers from Matilda's Corner and the Halfway Tree responded. So station commander at the Matilda's Corner Police Station, Inspector Earl Grant, confirmed the incident. So police said, based on reports gathered, the man was walking along a road in Harborview and was attacked and abducted by men traveling in a motor vehicle and later thrown into the gully. Police said the man reported that he was robbed and beaten. So following the incident, authorities have renewed their call for our citizens to be vigilant when traveling around and to always be aware of their surroundings. So the police said in recent months they have received reports about a string of robberies taking place in and around the St. Andrew Central Police Division. And the police said in the past weeks they have also received reports about criminals traveling on motorcycles and targeting citizens, especially in the Mona and neighboring communities. Yeah? So I suppose they left in there hoping that rain would fall and him wash rain at the gully. I don't know. You understand? Jaja. I'm very lucky, Garfield. Very is not even the word. Extremely very. You understand? JUTC students murder trial delayed for 8th time. I wonder if 100 times this a case I forgot them people I forgot. I don't know, cause I look like that's the golden number. You understand? Like that's the golden number, you know, so I couldn't tell you. So now, the much anticipated plea and case management hearing of Rajiv Morgan, the man accused of last January's stabbing death of University of Technology Jamaica student Demar Stennett, has been rescheduled to the 8th of October following his 8th overall appearance in the St. James Court. So Morgan had his bail extended by High Court Judge Glenn Brown after the court was told that the case file was not ready. I need some water. Yeah? Speaking about case file, I want to tell you something. Monday's postponement marks the first time that Morgan's plea and case management hearing has been delayed since the date was set during his previous court appearance on July 14. It also marks the 8th overall delay in the case's resolution since it was brought before the St. James Circuit Court on the 30th of September 2019. The case was first put off on the 23rd of October 2019 and then on the 27th of November that year, which is last year, as DNA analysis results were outstanding from the prosecution's file. The case was later rescheduled to January 23rd, 2020 to allow for an analysis of Morgan's DNA. So the matter was deferred to March 18 as Morgan's lawyer, Henry McCurdy, requested a copy of his client's medical certificate. However, on that date, the investigating officer's absence resulted in the court rescheduling the matter to the 13th of May. The case was then put off until July 14, when the plea and case management hearing was set for Monday's date. So Morgan is accused of stabbing Stennett 54 times along Miriam Way near Westgate Hills in Montego Bay on January 5, 2019, the first murder in the parish that year. Reports are that approximately 7 a.m. on the day, soldiers assigned to the Zone of Special Operations in Mount Salem were on patrol along Miriam Way when they saw Morgan standing beside a parked car. When questioned, Morgan reportedly said that the vehicle had broken down. However, Morgan's behavior and several wounds to his face aroused soldiers' suspicion, and when they confronted him, he fled into nearby bushes. The soldiers chased and caught Morgan, who fought with them before being subdued. Morgan was taken back to the car where the soldiers found a bloody knife. He subsequently led them to nearby bushes where Stennett's body was found. 59 times. That sound... So now here. Hold on, guys. I forget some water. Give me a minute, please. I know people are going left, but I say I go.
What we do here is go back.
Yeah, peeps, respect, right? Man, I know. Hopefully, we can finish the stream still. You see me? First of all, man, 59 times, 54 times, 50 times. So, on our way. Yeah, son. Alright, peeps, so I could deal with this, you know. You know, COVID situation. Matthew, what go on, family? Not Matthew, Andre Hewitt. What go on, brother? You know, we are in the COVID struggle. Many people have been laid off. Many people have had to be working fewer hours. Many persons' salary has been cut. Some people now work. You understand? Many tertiary students who normally go on the work and travel program were not able to leave the country because of the coronavirus situation in the United States. So it means that their ability to pay their tuition would have been badly affected as the tuition existed now versus the University of the West Indies decision to hike tuition fees in some instances more than $100,000. I understand that the university have to operate. I understand say it's not cheap for tertiary education. Not sure why it's so expensive in Jamaica, but yeah. But good God, man. Good God, man. Not for the youth them. We then go hustle over Uncle Sam for them tuition. We then work in some entities in Jamaica. Many of those entities are now operating online. They are employing nobody for no summer work. We even no summer this year. We don't see no summer COVID we got. Which season we in? COVID season. You understand what I say? UWI fee hike alarm. Students may have to skip a year as tuition costs jumps more than $100,000. Hundreds of students at the University of the West Indies, Mona, are livid after learning that they will have to pay as much as $128,000 extra for tuition this upcoming academic year, despite an early pledge that fees would be frozen amid the coronavirus pandemic. While tuition fees remain the same as last year, the amount required for students in some faculties will be higher because costs are quoted in US dollars. Students in the faculties of medical science, law, and engineering will be primarily affected. And then money is supposed to pay some billions of dollars for tuition as things are, you know. The Jamaican dollar closed on Wednesday because this article was published on Wednesday at $147.71 against the greenback. But UWI pegs its tuition rate at $141. Last academic year, the university assessed its rate at $138. So over there now. The reality is that we are in a pandemic, and this pandemic has had implications for not only the university, but also the students themselves. And so this is really a challenging time for students. I would have never know if they never tell me. You understand? Students may have to opt out of continuing education come September, which would see some form of lower enrollment rate in the programs affected. And so we don't think it would be in the best interest of the university at this point in time to increase these fees. Students were relieved when Pro Vice Chancellor and Principal of the UWI Mona, Professor Dale Weber, announced earlier this month that undergraduate tuition fees, as well as those for halls and residents operated by the university, would be frozen for the 2020-21 academic year. It therefore came as a shock to many that the university existing policy to charge in US dollars for some programs could derail their efforts to pursue higher education. We are in Jamaica. We have most of the population being students from Jamaica, and so the price in US dollars, it is something that perturbs the students on the campus because this is a local space, the guild president Boswell argued. So representative from the Faculty of Medical Science, Rajay Smith, said that the students are devastated. Those pursuing studies in medicine and dentistry will have to pay an additional $128,000, while nursing students will have to fork out $30,000 more. Those enrolled in the pharmacy program will have to pay additionally $60,000. They are disgruntled, and many are saying that due to the current situation, those who used to go to work and travel program cannot afford it. I never read the article, but we couldn't tell you that. You understand? Many of those students who signed up for a work and travel program in the US were prevented from doing so this summer because of restrictions imposed by the Trump administration. Forget about the restriction by Trump. The reality is that COVID has mashed up America. Representative from the Faculty of Law, Janelle Small, said that fees have increased by $60,000. See? So the university strategic plan speaks to the pillar of access to education, and this will not only just affect students, but inherently the university itself. At least 10 students from who were spoken to said that they will have to take a leave of absence because of the increase in fees. So representative for the Faculty of Engineering, Niall Anderson, said that the fact that its students are not sponsored and generally find it difficult to obtain scholarships will make the 2020 to 2021 academic year even more challenging. One particular girl that I have assisted is in seeking scholarship. She said that when she saw the price increase due to the US exchange rate, she had tears coming in her eyes, literally, because she could not fathom how she would be able to find $60,000 more when she was already struggling to find the initial $1.35 million that she had to find previously, Anderson said. Registrar for the University of the West Indies, Mona, Dr. Donovan Stanbury, said that the pricing of courses at $141 meant that students were already ahead of the game because the open market exchange rate was even higher. The students have raised the issue through their guild president, and the principal has committed to have senior management look at it, Stanbury said. So former principal of the UA, Professor Archibald MacDonald, had lobbied for a change in the policy of quoting fees for non-sponsored students in US dollars. The university official disagreed with me. Let me be blunt. The management of the university and the campus said no, keep the fees in US dollars because it is too much risk to quote in Jamaican dollars, the former principal disclosed during an interview in 2018. Look here. As I said before, I'm always trying to lead into topics by, setting some perspective. As I have said, I understand it's not cheap to operate the University of the West Indies, despite government subsidies using taxpayers' money. Yeah? I understand. I understand the challenges that are being faced by not only Jamaica, but the entire planet presently. You understand? But, oh God, man. Talk it truth, man. The university must, be able to operate same with the fees as they were before this announcement. You understand? The youth them, where them are get the money from? Some of them parents now work. Some of the youth them pay money for go up and work and travel and never get to leave the island. Some of the entities that normally employ university students during their off months have to be closed, have to be scaling down. Where the youth them are get money from to pay this increased tuition? We say that in order to transform the nation, we have to focus on education. In the fear, oh yeah, I'm gonna write the report there now. Yeah, speaking about education, see me VP a message, Mr. I'm gonna write one report it. Yeah, I remember it. You understand? But me I say you know still, we are writing one of them time. But tomorrow, him say do, I didn't realize. Say, yeah, I'm gonna write a report yet. Never mind. The struggles of work. It's at a weird rasta. You understand? $128,000 might be easy for some people. But $28,000 much less $128 is a stretch for many. You understand? Plus these youths have to go pay for travel to school same because some of them can't pay for Rex. Or Chancellor or you all them up there. You understand what I say? Jaja. Yeah. You do the right thing. Do the bright thing. No Ike thing. Yes, sir. No, peeps. What am I do with that picture there? I don't know where I do with that picture, you know. But I did have a picture with the Minister of Health and one Empress by one plane one of them time. You understand? I were there. Let me see, let me see, 160. Yeah, I wonder if it over there. Boom. I see the Minister here still, but I talk about him a little, because I don't get to adjust a situation I get, you know. You understand? Because I don't tell us if a minister involved in no hanky-panky we build some word along the way. Then a serious business I'm going to run now. You understand? See, as we done say, the man personal relations don't really bother me as long as a personal relation then cost taxpayers money for benefit some people. You understand what I say? But it want look like say the more me look upon it is that the more the minister have questions to ask. Not for ask, answer. Zane, me say the minister, you know the infamous Zara Burton situation when tell Zara say if you mind her own business essentially. Zane, but me see where him I try to skirt around the thing said speed him now really take no talk funny per se, but the market meeting it look like it was more a meeting than a Jamaica thing. You understand? And based on what I say, a whole heap of questions need to be answered. Can watch it. So Tufton Dodge's question over alleged conflict of interest in award of contracts to market me. Health Minister Dr. Tufton Dodge question regarding concerns of an alleged conflict of interest in relation to contracts awarded by various arms of the health ministry to the firm Market Me. Dr. Tufton was asked by Nationwide News if the firm or its principals had done any work for him in his private capacity or as member of parliament. So speaking at a COVID-19 media conference, I think about Thursday, the health minister sidestepped the issue, citing the occasion. It's a way I have to say.
Briefing is called COVID. First of all, this press briefing is called COVID Conversations. It has been the case when we have started having it. I am going to respectfully ask that we confine our discussions to COVID and the very important issue that is of so much concern to Jamaicans. We can deal with that issue at another time. I'm sure there are other occasions when the question will be germane and will be responded to appropriately. So I would happily answer a question related to COVID, but right now I respectfully decline anything that deviates from the most important issue and why we're having this conversation. As I said earlier, this press briefing is titled...
Well, when I'm ready for that one, Ned. This will play automatically now. So the firm Market Me has received contracts with a total value of more than $80 million through the health ministry and organizations falling under its portfolio. Yeah? So none of the contracts went to public tender. So they were not advertised. You understand? There was no other bidder. Yeah? This includes a contract for the Jamaica Moves initiative for which Market Me provided an unsolicited proposal. That means the government never advertised, never asked it. They went to the government with the proposal. So that's what unsolicited mean. It has also been found that one of the principals of Market Me was a former board member of the National Health Fund, which partially funded the Jamaica Moves program.
Something all right. Something all right, yeah.
Something all right, Ninja. I believe, yeah. The Market Me controversy was again raised by RJR's Dean Jackson Miller. She asked Dr. Tufton if he had ordered his staff to locate documents said to be missing as it relates to Jamaica Moves. You understand? The health minister once again skirted, pun intended, around the issue.
As I said earlier, this press briefing is titled COVID Conversations, and with respect, I would like to confine the discussions around this issue because this is what persons who tune in want to hear about. Now, the permanent secretary has been very forthright, very open, very transparent in addressing the other issues. He's on leave, well-deserved break. There is a process now as it relates to the PAAC, where he's responding to questions. I believe that process continues, and he has made some commitments. He's a chief accounting officer. I will allow him to pursue that process, and I'm sure he'll be available to speak with you. But right now, I really want to focus on COVID.
I wonder if I did really time for Dunstan Brian go on leave, or Dunstan Brian just gets on leave. Then me no know, me have to ask, you understand? I don't know if Mr. Brian just gets on leave, you know what I mean, conveniently, or him did actually schedule for go on leave. You understand what I say? Why this so loud in me is? Boy, I leave just a dash way, and me can't get none. Jaja. Yeah. Peeps, the market meeting. Boy, do if you do it. As me say, me I go and wrap my head. You remember how long me take for address the rural read situation until me really and truly don't get enough time to delve into all of the literature that is out there on the market meeting situation. So I don't really think me comfortably enough to address it yet with all of the figures and complexities. But something not right. Something not right.
Something all right.
You understand?
Something all right, yeah.
Something not right about it. Or me I go and meds it because it was a 6 man who was killed by the police involved in the Maypen robbery. You know, I don't know any brother. There's been no information which have made that link, so I can't say. I don't know. It's a good question though, broski, but I don't know, in all honesty. See? Now, peeps. Me been for talk about this from Friday, but me ain't get round to it, cause we have so many things to cover Friday. So me say me da deal with it today. Me ready for deal with it. You understand? Me ready for deal with it. Oh, me ready for play something phone a look while again, I never remember, you know. How are there? I think I put it here, so I never put it in this. Let me say I can't find it. Former PS. Oh, I never in there. That's why I never play. Okay. Alright. I remind him to play something for now. We have to relate to Rural Read and him colleagues. You see? Alright. This brother on screen is Sanjay Elliott. You know, the alleged mastermind, well, not alleged no more because I could find him guilty. The mastermind behind the Manchester Municipal Corporation fraud trial. You know, he was found guilty. Zane? As far as I know, the figure that was being banded about during the trial was $400 million. And now a $40 million me I say. So I don't know who name 10. Watch ya. As Miss Crystal Clean said earlier, I don't know if she's still about the justice system and bullshit most of the time. You understand? And it's hard to defend them on a good day when you have to talk about things like this. You understand? Me assume say the newspaper ya mistakenly left off 1 0 because a 40 million me I say and when a 400 million the number is supposed to be. And that Chris I do with it, he reported them for True DeAndre. Him no want address it, none at all. See? Watch it now. 5 years for $40 million. That is what the headline say. So it means this is what it means, and I want to listen what it means now. It means as a public servant, you can thief some money. See? Do what you do with it. Get a slap on the wrist and come back, come live rich and happy same way. Because, you know, if you get 5 years, you're going to spend 1.5 years and come out on good behavior. Joke thing. Just like how we are talking the other day, say, the scammer them, I get tens of millions of dollars and you are charged $100,000 when him got a court. The man are going to scam all day in life. Because if a man make $10 million, you are charge him $100,000. Then the man have $100,000 family. 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 $ Ringmaster Elliott sentenced to imprisonment in Manchester Municipal fraud case. Senior Parish Judge Anne-Marie Granger rejected bail application by lawyers pending appeal after imposing custodial sentences on Sanjay Elliott and 3 co-accused in the multi-million-dollar Manchester Municipal Corporation. Get bail for what? Additionally, the judge rejected an appeal for a leniency from counsel representing Elliott. So, him not get no leniency. So, suppose he get leniency, a 5 months him don't get. The judge said him not give them no leniency. See? The judge said no leniency granted and the man get 5 years. So, if a 5... Yo, Jaja. Additionally, the judge rejected an appeal for a leniency from counsel representing Elliott, the former deputy superintendent of road and works, whom she described I'm there now. Sorry about that. Whom she described as the ringmaster in the defrauding of the corporation and sentenced him to 5 years imprisonment at hard labor.
Something alright. Something alright, yeah.
The sentencing of the Manchester Parish Court is seen as a major victory for the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. But what kind of victory? 5. Former Secretary, Manager and Acting CEO of the corporation, David Harris, was sentenced to 16 months in prison at hard labor. Former Temporary Works Overseer, Kendale Roberts, was sentenced to 18 months at hard labor. Carpenter and gardener Dwayne Sibley was sentenced to 12 months imprisonment at hard labor on the count of conspiracy to defraud. Tasha Gay Goldburn Elliott, wife of Sanjay Elliott, got a non-custodial sentence and was fined $3 million. Granger said that based on the social inquiry report, Elliott had no expression of remorse. If it's sorry and you're rich. She rejected the submission from Elliott's attorney Norman Godfrey, saying she did not agree and stressed that the sentence should be deterrent for potential offenders. 5 years, who you deter? And the man them have millions of dollars. Who are going to be deterred from spending 5 years? You're going to do 2 years and come out for good behavior. Eh? And when you come out, you're rich. The court has to consider that people are looking on, yeah? The threat of punishment should deter potential offenders. What kind of punishment? Granger went on to emphasize that the defrauding of the local authority happened over a period of years. More than 5. A nonchalant sentence would send the wrong signal. So what kind of sentence this if you're not nonchalant? Elliott was convicted on May 15 on charges of conspiracy to defraud, obtaining money by a false pretense, engaging in a transaction that involves criminal property, possession of criminal property, and an act of corruption. Missy man get charged for 1 jar spliff. Him dead at prison and man serve 40 years at prison for 1 jar spliff. 1 jar herb. 1 spliff. 1 bumper herb. And man who is accused of thieving $400 million get 5 years. Garfield, you can't even Jaffa spread out for this because this is too serious, and brother. Missy man pick 2 aki off of 1 tree and get more years than them people here. I don't know if you can get more than 5 years still. No pay back in about FID. As a matter of fact, crap, let me forget the article there. FID Manchester Municipal Corporation. I soon talk to you about that. Search your sickness. Yeah, man. FID to target assets. I'm soon write it. Why not open? Back to safety. I don't know. I know the FID will be seeking an injunction from the courts to seize the assets. I suppose to liquidate them. And I don't know. Granger stated that given the nature of the offences, there must have been some careful planning. It weighed heavily on the court because of the abuse of his position. The maximum fines are not sufficient as it relates to Sanjay Elliott. So the judge now is suggesting that based on the laws and the authority invested in her office, she cannot sentence him for more than 5 years. Listen to this. The maximum fines. No, lie. She has said basically the fines, the monetary fines would not be sufficient. Alright, so fine, me read that wrong. In sentencing Elliott, Granger pointed out that the money laundering counts are to run concurrently. Why not consecutively? While the other sentences are to run consecutively to the ones of money laundering. That is, counts in relation to conspiracy, obtaining money by a false pretense, and an act, one acting of corruption, one act. Godfrey has asked that his clients not be imprisoned. So 34-year-old Elliott is the father of 3 and had no prior conviction. A sentence of imprisonment should be a lot. Yeah, what the law. Listen what the lawyer said. Let me drink a look of water. Listen to the lawyer. 34-year-old Elliott is a father of 3 and had no prior conviction. A sentence of imprisonment should be a last resort. The lawyer said. He is not the kind of individual that requires to be confined to the walls of an adult correctional facility. The attorney also said there has been no indictment presented to the court that speaks to any $400 million being defrauded from the Manchester Parish Council. I have gone through the indictment and at the best it shows 47 million. He said, adding that the public ought to know what the convicted persons are being sentenced for. In handing down the sentence, the judge said that the figure was over $40 million. Granger said Harris played a critical role as a CEO. The offense would have involved very careful planning over a period. How much time should I say that? On the count of conspiracy to defraud, he was sentenced to 16 months hard labor. He also received 16 months hard labor with the sentences to run concurrently for an act of corruption. So former temporary works overseer Roberts, who is to spend 18 months in prison in total, was sentenced to 18 months on counts of conspiracy to defraud, 18 months at hard labor for uttering forged documents, and 18 months at hard labor for an act of corruption. The sentences are to run concurrently. Siblings will spend 12 months at hard labor in prison on the count of conspiracy to defraud. Regarding the fine of $3 million for Golding Elliott, which is the wife of Sanjay, Granger said it involved $1.5 million on each count, or 6 months imprisonment, 1 year in total if the fines are not paid. The sentence is to be consecutive. Goldburn Elliott has been given 3 months to pay the fine, with her father standing surety. Queen's Counsel Peter Champagny told journalists outside the court that the matter will be going to the appeal court. We respect the decision of the court, but it is subject to our instructions of testing it elsewhere in the Court of Appeal, and our instructions are to proceed to do just that. We are obviously disappointed in terms of the sentencing, but again, the sentencing must be on the respect of the court, and we will take our chances in the Court of Appeal, Champagny said. Godfrey had a similar message. I think we have a good case on appeal. All lawyers said that. At the time when the statements were served upon us and the indictment produced to us, there are certain witnesses upon whose statement it is alleged the indictment were framed. And in their statements, no offense was disclosed. When the witness came to court, they changed their story, Godfrey said. So Godfrey is representing Sanjay Elliott and his wife, while Champagny and attorney Samoy Campbell represents Roberts. Daniel Archer represents Harris. If you laugh, Rasta. I have to laugh. The watcher walk go on, big bro. Hope all is well, you know. You understand? I still wonder if I don't write the report there already, though. The rest of my man. I'm sure I write the report, you know. I have to go check. Yeah, man. Sarge or Sage talk. I know say I work, them I work, you know. You understand? Me no business about the lawyer, them, you know. I judge me at talk about what kind of 5 years, family? I say man thief hockey. And get all long sentence. Man with one bump of weed. Spend how much years at jail. Till you all. Joke thing, man. But me tell you this. If I did teach them thief $400,000, teach them get 10 years of prison. You understand? Not even 400 million, you know. I may I get 10 years. Watch ya. I asked you a question the other night, you know. Name me one ministry in the current administration that has not been tainted with allegations of corruption. Some people say tourism, but the tourism enhancement fund has been embroiled in controversy and scandal. So them not safe. Unqualified JUTC managers ordered into classes. JUTC has been losing money from before JUTC was formed. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company has been operating at a loss since its inception. And even while it has been operating at a loss, successive administrations have created boards and operators and chairmen and overseers who apparently has been helping the company to suffer losses because they have been siphoning off a joke thing, man. All the unqualified senior management personnel who are employed to the state-owned Jamaica Urban Transit Company must commence enrollment in a program in the area of their work specialization at a recognized tertiary institution no later than September 2020. This was one of the actions mandated by the Russell Adid chaired board of the JUTC during a meeting Thursday morning to discuss the findings of a performance audit into the operations of the Castrap Bus Company. The audit covered the period 2014 to 2019 and as such straddled administrations of both Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party. Among the damning findings of the Auditor General, Ms. Pamela Monroe Ellis, and her team was that at least 6 of the 21 senior managers at the JUCT does not meet the minimum qualification for the positions they hold. The JUTC in a statement following the meeting said there is no progress on the part of the employees to get qualified, beginning September if the board will sanction such employees. But it would appear that some of the 6 could face difficulty matriculating to a tertiary level institution based on the level of qualification they have on file at the JUTC or the lack thereof. Typical admission to the university or teachers college requires a minimum of 5 CXC subjects, which must include passes in English and mathematics. And in the case of some of the managers, no such basic qualifications seem to exist. Right now, I can go manage JUTC. You know, see what I'm going. Shockingly, the audit report found that the JUTC managing director has nothing in the way of qualification other than a reported high school diploma for a position that requires a postgraduate degree and 10 years experience at the senior management level. Despite that situation, the managing director is into his second stint in the position. You know what I say? Alright, and listen to me keenly. Qualifications are qualifications. And if you say if you have X, if you have X. The reality is that qualification and paper don't make you the best manager in the world, you know. But you see, if the manager did actually and manage the company in a way where it's profitable and a progress, then you could then say, all right, you can't see with them because them still do a good job despite them not have the qualification on paper. But no qualification and JUTC operate at a loss from the shambolic state of affairs at the JUTC, as uncovered by the audit, reveals a board that appears to be dysfunctional. The unapproved hiring of staff above the capacity of the entity, and nearly $728 billion, $728 million in overtime payments, despite the company having excess staff. How come the company is overstaffed and you need so much overtime? Then, man, I kill overtime and I kill taxpayers. Meanwhile, the bus company board said it notes the public interest generated from the publishing of the findings of the report into its operations. At the same time, it has taken issue with aspects of the report, and as such has called for the entire report to be retracted. How you know, sir? While we appreciate the incisive analysis of the issues raised by the Auditor General, the board and management wish to make it clear that there are some areas of the report which requires further elaboration for accuracy. In relation to the breach identified, we acknowledge that all is not well at the company, and we will implement several of the recommendations made by the Auditor General. Notwithstanding some of the inaccuracies contained in the report, the statement said. The JUTC also acknowledged that its unapproved staff capacity. Listen to this. The JUTC also acknowledged that its unapproved staff capacity racked up $1.115 billion in cost, but stated that the problem is a long-standing one dating back to 2006. So now, 14 years and it's still not fixed. How long them a plan to take to fix it? It said it has written to the Ministry of Finance on several occasions to have the post established. The JUTC said the matter was brought to the attention by the Ministry of Finance during the period November 2014 to January 2015. Since then, the company has been seeking the assistance of the Ministry of Finance for the establishment of posts. The exercise commenced in January 2015 but was halted in August 2016 due to the change in administration. That's a part of the problem in the country. You know? If one administration is doing something, the next one come and stop blap. Even if something was beneficial to the country, one administration change, the next one come and whatever was being done, don't see the light of day. There's no continuity. Whatever the Jamaica Labour Party is doing now, that is good and will potentially benefit the country. If the administration should change in the next general election and the People's National Party come in a power, it tap blap. And if the People's National Party in a power for one term and them lose the election, whatever them do, the Jamaica Labour Party come in and it tap blap. Because when we come into power, we don't come into power for the benefit of the country, you know. We come into power for the benefit of our bank account and we friend them. We contribute to election campaign. So we are now busy jockeying and rearranging so we friend them can benefit and to put into position instead of continuing the business of the blasted nation. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company is recording losses of almost $9 billion per year. And you have people that work overtime for $1.1 billion out of that. You know how much people out the road with qualifications can't get a job? And you have people that earn millions of dollars and not go to school for. And Mark, you know, I am one person who believes that qualification on paper don't always mean you're sensible, you know. And people without the paper can do an even better job than people with the paper sometimes, you know. But if you don't have a paper, you have the crap said way, then the worse than if you have it, well, maybe not, but you don't have it. A post-audit exercise was done in July 2019, and we await the results of same. We have since reduced our staff complement from 2,252 in May 2016 to 1,956 as at July 2020, said the statement. It described the matter of exceeding its overtime budget by 728 million as a serious issue requiring urgent actions. You think? As such, it said, the board has taken a number of decisions following Thursday's meeting with senior managers. These include 1. Any expenditure outside of budget must be taken to the Finance Committee for discussion and approval. 2. All overtime must be sent to the HR Committee, then to the Finance, along with management's justification. 3. In May, the company approved the implemented an overtime policy, which is to be applied going forward. Additionally, the JUTC indicated that since March 2020, overtime payments were reduced from 25.83 million to 11.34 million as at June 2020. I'm not done with the JUTC, but I'm not tonight. I'm going to finish with them, but I'm not done with them yet. Friday night, I spoke at length about the situation surrounding the Ministry of Education and the continued battle, Zane, and power struggle between former Permanent Secretary Dean Roy Bernard and Acting Permanent Secretary Dr. Grace McLean. Dean Roy Bernard has been saying a lot of things. You understand? I remember, for context, Dean Roy Bernard was the Permanent Secretary, Zane, for a long time, but under Ruel, apparently, him and Ruel never say eye to eye. Ruel shipped him out to the Ministry of Finance as Director General, one post when it exists. Dean Roy Bernard carried the ministry to court. They ruled that he should resume his position as PS in the ministry, but Dr. Grace McLean is still acting. I think the motion that he filed also, it was supposed to be an injunction blocking the permanent appointment of Dr. Grace McLean as Permanent Secretary. So I don't know what go on with that. You understand? I would have read from an article some things that Mr. Bernard said on Friday night, but I have an audio clipping where he spoke for a little bit in relation to the situation. This is some things where I have to say. You understand? You know, this is what I go on in I dance. Boom. Well on.
A fact that public funds were being used.
Boom.
I asked her if it is a fact that public funds were being used for this function. She said that an approach was made to her, right? And there was actually a conditional approval given for a gift for the Permanent Secretary. I checked with my finance department and there was no record of any public funds being earmarked for this function. However, that use of the credit card for that gift was in play. So I sent for the document, and in my presence it was cancelled. I spoke to the Chief Education Officer at the time, and I indicated to her, and she assured me that whilst the function would be held, no public funds would be used, because I indicated that if I'm not so assured, I would not attend.
And you were still Permanent Secretary at that time?
I was Permanent Secretary.
So why did you not sanction or discipline the Chief Education?
No, this is coming to my attention after I have left office. I'm not aware that this happened.
Oh, you only became aware of this from the Auditor General,
yes.
even though you were the permanent secretary.
Because even if this was supposed to be done, the very circular requires the head of entity to give the permission for that to be done. That didn't come to me. Would have been me. That didn't come to me, certainly.
We do recognize that we did not see any payment, so that is correct. There was no payment being made by the ministry. Our attempt now is to get all the information from JCTE, because it is my view, and I still hold that view despite whatever transaction took place, I think in February of 2019, that at that substantive point, JCTE is a public body in the sense that it is associated with government. So any payments being made by JCTE now becomes an interest to the Auditor General and the other members of the team. JCTE to this date has not honored that request to provide the information.
And I do not act outside of instruction. We had regular meetings with the minister, himself and myself, and we collaborate to ensure that the ministry is run in a structured and orderly manner. I take responsibility for any area of the report that may appear that the due diligence was not done, but in my estimation and documentation and understanding of my role at the ministry, I acted based on the instruction and the documentation that was provided to me. I could not with any reasonableness know that my husband has been working at CMU for the last 10 years and put myself up to have direct responsibility over CMU. I do not approve funds to the CMU. I do not give the CMU instructions or any other universities for that matter. So I really was not aware that I was fully in charge of CMU until the matters are being specifically spoken about. My husband has been working there since 2010. He's a professional, a very hard worker, and he's prepared to tell his story if he's requested in terms of the allegations that I heard Member Bunting raised, as I am not privy to the report that you are currently reading from. I have not gotten a chance to read that report fully.
The police say among the 10 people...
I have said it already and I'll say it again. When Ruel Reid was asked to leave the Ministry of Education and Dr. Grace McLean was acting as permanent secretary, at best she should have been given back her responsibility as Chief Education Officer and should not have continued as acting permanent secretary. Dr. McLean, it would appear, would have been privy to some things and whether knowingly or unknowingly participated in some things that would have brought her reputation into disrepute. Yeah? I don't know Dr. McLean. I don't know what type of person she is in terms of her personality. But it would appear that Dr. McLean was used by Ruel Reid to facilitate some of his nefarious acts and activities. You understand? She might have done these things in just simply carrying out her responsibility and answering to the Minister of Education. However, as far as I know it, the most powerful person in any ministry is not the minister himself per se, and if you really do the math, it's actually the permanent secretary. And as such, that may have been the reason why Dean Roy Bernard was asked to leave or moved from the Ministry of Education, because he was not having none of Ruel Reid anky-pankiness. You want to look. You understand? So, a whole heap of question. Dr. Grace McLean may have placed herself in a position where her integrity is now in question, where persons will no longer be able to take her word with any form of confidence to be accurate and to be true. And I suppose she continues to fight to hold on to the post of permanent secretary. But the Ministry of Education, you understand, the executive, the office of the Education Ministry needs to be cleansed. In all honesty, I've said this already, I'll say it again. And we need to start from the Minister of Education. I mean, know people might open them eye wide. Oh, a teacher for you say that. Then what you mean? Me pay tax in this. You understand? I am not in agreement with the choice for Education Minister. Never have been, never will be. You understand? I would have said it publicly that I think it was a retrograde step. It was a cowardice act by the Prime Minister in trying to make veteran politicians happy when he would have assigned substantive responsibility to Mike Henry and also to Carl Samuda in recent months. I stand by that, and I will not renege on my belief as it relates to that. Carl Samuda should not be the Minister of Education. You understand? And whether I'm a teacher or I'm not, or whenever I am no longer a teacher, I will never, ever take that back. You understand? So, that's my view. The Ministry of Education is in a mess. The Education Ministry is a mess. Yeah? And in order to fix it, you have to start with a strong leader, a leader with vision, a leader with the energy, Zane, and thing. Danny, I'm willing to stand by those statements any day, anytime, anywhere, brother. You understand what I say? It's not the first I have made those statements. I have no qualms in making those statements. Zane, the reality is just the reality. As somebody who is in the education system, I am speaking from first-hand experience. I am speaking from inside. You understand? I know the situation. I know the view on the ground. Some people are just not brave enough to say it. You understand? At the end of the day, I wasn't born in a classroom. You understand? So I don't need to live the rest of my life in a classroom. That is the reality. You see me? Yeah, man. So I don't really fear saying them things. It's just the reality. I say my feeling. If them not like that, then I just saw the thing up. I don't like enough things what them say and do. So here we are. You understand? I suppose though, the Prime Minister in his infinite wisdom would have come to that conclusion. Zane. Brother, life is life. No matter what you do, that is a possibility. So if they choose to do that, then they choose to do that. You understand what I say? So life goes on. And we have to just stand up for what we believe in. You understand? And that is one of the things that me believe in. The Education Ministry is being operated like a joke. Simple. You understand? There were too many unresolved issues surrounding Royal Reed. Many of those issues have not been even, the process of resolving them has not even begun. You see me? Sure. You don't understand it, brother. You don't even understand. You see me? So, I mean, if we live in a country where we can publicly express our disapproval with certain things, whether we involve directly or indirectly, then it doesn't make sense. A joke thing. You understand? So I'm say I am just voicing the purview of many people I know, many of my colleagues. Suppose they don't have a platform to do that. You understand? Or they may not be brave enough. But the reality is just the reality. You understand? And if anybody can look on it and tell me, say, employing permanently Carl Samuda as Minister of Education was a wise move, then you know mean the country no good. You see me? Peeps, I'll leave it there. So big up on yourself. You understand? As I said, the call-in for tomorrow, all things being equal, all things being well, that should be on. I might have probably waited on the written judgment from the court to be better able to address some of the concerns and issues. So we'll see how that goes still. But that's make you know, say, you know what I mean? Look out for the interview Tuesday. Zane, I'm not even start cut the video, the interview there yet. I'm not even done lay the two camera them it either. But I'll try start cutting that before I go to bed tonight and thing. And them say me have one report for write, so I'm gonna write it. You understand? And thing. So we give thanks for the support, peeps. We appreciate the ones them. You know what I mean? Big up on yourself. Jamaica to rotted, ain't it? Every day is something else. You understand? You know, funny enough though, I was looking at, not in deep details, a Bill Johnson Commission poll where the Prime Minister is way donkey years ahead of Peter Phillips in approval ratings and who we are going to vote for next election and all of them something there. You understand? So it means that and I call the election already. All things being equal, you understand, without any unforeseen miracle happening, the Jamaica Labour Party will form the next government, will continue their governance of the country. Yeah? And as I've said before, there's practically no ministry in the current administration that has not been tainted by allegations of corruption. Yeah? So it means then is not now going to change. And then if the PNP should form the next government, I mean, been there, done that. We see them at work already. You understand what I say? So anyway you turn Makajuk, you look like Tertiary. You see me? So where's the change? When it all come? Where it all come from? Who are going to bring it? You understand what I say? The Prime Minister has been very indecisive in some instances. You understand? He has been soft in some instances. He has been weak in some instances. And he has played the friend card in some instances. You understand? I mean, corruption is just rife. And corruption from the top trickles down to corruption in the street. And it is sickening, man. It annoying. It irks me. I don't know about anybody else, but it irks me. You see? And would have seen it for 18 years under the People's National Party administration, where there was no accountability. There was no serious accountability for corruption. Then we saw it under the Bruce Golding administration. Then we saw it under the Portia Simpson-led administration. Then we're seeing it under the Andrew Holness. So it's just business as usual. You understand what I say? It's just business as usual. No better pork, no better barrel, I suppose. Black dog and monkey. You understand? Keckle and Dutch pot. I don't even know. You understand? I'm tired of it still. So, I cut it now still. Peeps, big up on yourself. Culinary delights. Well, you miss a lot, you know. You understand? But, you know what I mean? Hope you get for the rewatch. You see me? Congratulations again to the security forces for the sterling work that they have been doing in the recovery of illegal guns and ammunition, the detention of wanted men, and the elimination of some violence producers in the country. The fight must continue. The youths them out there were involved in the ranks. Brother, look like I couldn't see what go on. You understand? Zane, a prisoner dirt rasta. You feel what I say? So, we still have time enough for looking on the ways, for changing the ways, you understand, and for have longer days. Because them say crime never play, and it's very cliche, but at the end of the day, brother, it don't make no sense. You see me I say? It don't make no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. And for the thieving criminal police them out there, we're still aid and abet criminals and criminality. We not go in there, man. And the commissioner, brother, all the weeding process that takes a long family. It's hard to get rid of every corrupt official, but too much of them still about family. You understand what I say? Look here, man. The bad police them are try to make a difference look like a Looney Tunes and everything, brother. So they need to fix up that something there. You understand? Yo, it thinks that way, man. Yo, you're rough. But Jamaica land we love. You understand? It thing, I know it worse, but it's far from being the best. You understand what I say? You know, land of food and water. nothing with no short up, full of vibes, full of laughter. You understand? But we want a better Jamaica for our son and our daughter. You know? Yeah, man, that's what I think. We have to hold people accountable, whether police, politician, pastor, lawyer, teacher, doctor. We have to hold each other accountable, brother, because it thing's serious. No one man can do it, no one entity can do it, no one party can do it. And the whole we have to do it. We have to decide what we want. We have to decide what we want. You understand me? I say half our population can want that and the next half want that. You see me? I say a unity, brother. We don't know any of them divide and conquer already, you know. You understand? We have to unite in a fight. Else we'll never see the light. Darkness shall forever cover with plight. But me kinda get to rhyme and pie me. So, you know what I mean? Me a cut. Big up on yourself. Appreciate the support. I mean, I say Father James Bond, Miss Joan Gray, Militant, Empress Rosie B, Danny, Kanaika, Junior Lewis. See, DeAndre, look brother, big up yourself in the youth. You know what thing, you know? Empress Joy England. Ian, big up yourself in the youth. Manners and respect every time. And Father Peter me. You don't know, so we appreciate the support. Whether night, whether day. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Father Dante Dan. You don't know you're the man. The poet speak. Father Eli Kelly. We are deal with youth. Tamu good. Big up yourself, you know. You know, it's all good. Great creation. One of the man who want a better nation. You know what I mean? Big up yourself, brother. Empress Cookie Mama. Hope all is well, you know. Guy Fox. Big up yourself, you know, youth. Miss Funk. Manners and respect, you know. You see me? Yeah, man. Miss Susie, pick up yourself. Yeah, man. All of the people in the business. I mean, I appreciate the support. So hopefully tomorrow we see it go. You understand? And thing, them something there. Interview Tuesday. Hopefully all things being well. Dead them I got dead. You know what I think? Jonah Cat, big up yourself anyway you're there. Peeps, enjoy your week. We know COVID still in the street, you understand? So you have to watch your feet and thing. Be careful, yeah, sir. When you go up on the road, them big old headphone, you lower them alone. That one all nice cancelling. So if me turn on that, me not hear nothing road me. We don't need that. You understand? Be observant. You understand? Be alert. See in the Bluetooth headpiece them. I don't even know them still have it in the city. Then they even look good. You understand? People are watching, people are prayer. Them Bluetooth and them headphone, they must connected to something. Man, with no do man. Keep your phones in your bags and in your pockets. Use them only when you need them. Walk with only the cash where you need. If the whole heap of jewelry and bangle and fandangle, I know you work for and your money buy. But people will take it from you and take your life in the process, family. You know what I mean? So you have to know what you do. Try walk with only the cash where you need. If you have to take public transportation, try to travel with somebody. Or travel with a driver that you're familiar with. You understand what I say? If you have to travel alone still, know the do's and the don'ts. State the license plate number. So then go get somebody. Describe the car, describe the driver. Tell people where they tell people where you go. Always follow your instinct. If it feels wrong, it is wrong. And above all, trust absolutely no one. For the people that want to live them life on social media and the social media space. You understand? No other man. Everything you do or you do, you don't need to put in your status. You feel what I say? People are prayer. People are study. You understand? And people you think are your friend and then your friend them. You see me I say? So no one I do. For the people that may live them private life in the public, no one I do to you know. You know what I mean? For the people that may suffer from Instagram syndrome, stop pray people. Stop watch people and them best life. Live the life you can the best way you can. You have to learn to own your own until you can own your own. Peeps, big up on yourself. Walk good. Step with Jah. I'm out.
Thank you for tuning in. Like the stream before you go. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Remember to share the stream with your family and friends and browse the channel for more amazing content. Until next time, walk good, my friends.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's Teach Them right here. Warlord representing.